New, urban, ethical, authentic, sports, entertainment, something for the old, something for the new, something for everybody in between. We leave nothing untouched. We are Spoon 107.5 FM.
Yes, I. A special one from the CEO, stand on with the spoon. And your boy, right at the south bend. On the beat. To get your information. So the spoon to be fine. Spoon, spoon, spoon direction. Spoon, spoon, spoon. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Bonjama, Reverend to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat my president, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, everybody. Spoon TV. Yes, everybody. Spoon TV. Spoon. Spoon Yes, I. A special one from the CEO, stand on with the spoon. And your boy, right at the south bend. On the beat. To get your information. To the spoon to be fine. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Bonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, yeah, tout small. Et puis il kept on preaching and parole tout small. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tout small. Yeah, yeah, tout small. You want to get a notes of the tout small. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want?
And of course, this is Spoon 107.5 FM. We're also live on Fabric 101.1 and a host of other stations relaying us all across Liberia. Today is Sunday, the 27th day of April 2025. And I'd love to welcome you wherever it is you're listening to us from across Liberia. A pleasant night to you. And for those of you watching us from all around the world, good day to you as well. Before we kickstart all of the program here, we firstly want to say a happy birthday to you, Lorena Honoree, known as the Supreme Lady. Yes, today is your birthday, and we here at the Spoon Network are celebrating you, wishing you all of the best in this new chapter of your life. So, Supreme Lady Lorena Honoree is currently enjoying her birthday with colleagues of hers, family members, and friends as well. And I'm stuck in the studio because I have to produce tonight, and I'm just looking at the pictures and looking at the videos, and my heart just burning. Yeah, but wish you all of the best, Lorena. Have for yourself a wonderful time, and enjoy this new chapter of your life as well. So Lorena Honoree celebrates today, and we wish her all of the best. Yeah, so a lot happening in the country. We've been told, we've been hinted that this week is going to be a very busy week. So we ourselves are taking extra exercises, to make sure that we're up to the task. That there will be a lot of events unfolding in the country, and we are definitely up to the task to bring you all of what is going to unfold in Liberia. A lot of alliances, a lot of reassurances, a lot of backings, a lot of statements. The opposition community had their press conference at the headquarters of the Alternative National Congress, that's the ANC, and the Unity Party Alliance, did also host a press conference, today at their headquarters with the alliance members. Notably, there were some absent parties in that press statement as well as to why. I'm sure the panelists are going to talk about that as well. And there are parties, constituent parties of the alliance, have also said that they support the Unity Party government, the Bwaka Kun-led administration, and they stand by them. As to what is going to be the political ploy or play happening up Capitol Hill in this whole speakership impasse, we are following to the letter. A lot of other things happening in the country as well. We'll be talking about those, but we'll give you the opportunity to call us up and let us know what's on your minds as well. So pin the numbers and you can call those numbers and let us know what's on your mind. So Trevor, it will hear you. Yeah. I'll wear it, Jesse. I got different types. But the reason I'm wearing this one, it was bought for me by a Madrid friend of mine all the way from Barcelona. So it's an original fan jersey. So I'm wearing it because he's a Madrid fan and he bought this for me as a gift, and we defeated them. I'll wear Barcelona jersey through all the work week. If it may fair, now like your business. Yeah. Sometimes you have to make silent statements. I'm not saying anything. I wear my jersey and be coming to work. They're plenty in the bidding, so everyone is see it or feedback. Yeah. But yeah, Abraham, congratulations to us. Yeah, Abraham Amaraduna says yes, congratulations. It was a tense game last night, Yeah, it was actually a tense game last night, but it's good. At the end of the day, we became the victors, and we can always say to all those phones that have been switched off, my dear friends, you switch your phones off. You need to put them back on. We need to talk with family and friends. The game is over and done with. Yeah. All right, but say Arsenal coming for you. We're not thinking about Arsenal. Yeah. Philip Bala, we're not thinking about Arsenal. Yeah, we're not thinking about Arsenal. We're thinking about Inter Milan that we need to cross. But we ain't thinking about Arsenal. You're worried over PSG. You should be worrying over PSG. Why should we be worried over Arsenal that might probably go out against PSG? Yeah, That Inter in front of Arsenal, probably like maybe. It's a big maybe. We're not sure. Yeah, think about that one, Philip. Yeah. I know you're not gonna honor call Madrid fan, but we'll leave it at that. So we're about to open the phone lines, and you can call us up and let us know what's on your mind. A lot of things happening in the country, but key amongst those is what's happening up Capitol Hill with the speakership impasse, the ruling of the Supreme Court, and all of that. Yeah, Vafole Kelvin. That's it. All right, so let's go to the phone lines now and let Liberians let us know what's on their minds. We also pin the WhatsApp number that you can call using if you're watching from around the world and you want to use the WhatsApp number to call in. You can use that to call as well. Let's take this first person. Yeah, 0555 0555 This is one-on-one with the CEO. Mr. Stanley Alexander Witherspoon is going to host the program. The rest of the panelists are going to join on, and it promises to be an interesting show as well. We'll take this first person on the line. Hello.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Yes, sir, your name, and let's hear what's on your mind.
I'm Wellington Car. I call from Cooper Farm, Tenok on the Hill.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what's on my mind this evening? The Supreme Court coming out with the ruling, the two speakers, quote unquote. People have problem with the president, and by the president, taking stuff. Let's say, saying that he wants to deal with the people who have the majority black that have the quorum. For me, I think the president is in a red trajectory because, the president is doing, it's in a red trajectory because we cannot have let's say, fanatic cover does not have the number, and the majority black has the number to conduct quorum. So, this country has to get moving.
Okay.
So, I support the president and let everybody support the president until that problem can be resolved because the problem is not resolved. So
thank you.
Let everybody support the president and not just do it politically and then
all right, sir. Thank you.
Politics. Let's forget about the wicked dirty politics. Let's support the agenda of this country.
Thank you. We have to leave it at that and take another person. Let's take the next person on the line. 0777771075 0555101075. Hello.
Good evening.
Pleasant night to you, sir. What's on your mind?
Daniel P from 540 Congo Town.
Okay.
What on my mind is that this country is in a serious mess. I'm not lying to you. Because our president who said that he is going to uphold and defend the constitution of this country is just breaking off our laws. When he went to the LTA, similar thing. And now he's doing it again in the house. So as a leader, when the Supreme Court speaks, then everybody listens. So for the president to say that he is not going to listen to the Supreme Court.
When did he say he will not listen to the Supreme Court, sir? When?
Yeah. But if he said things like that, see how it looks like. He about this. He has brought all kinds of problems in this country now.
No, you said the president said he will not listen to the Supreme Court, and this is a public platform. So I'm asking you, when did he say he's not going to listen to the Supreme Court?
No, that he is going to work with the majority group that he's been working with. Yes, so it means that he's going to work with the same group that he's been working with, that he's been supporting.
Okay.
So that's not correct for the country.
All right, sir.
Yeah, it's not correct for the country.
And your opinion.
To be breaking our laws down. It's people like that. We're problem in the country.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The WhatsApp number is now on the screen for those of you who want to participate via the WhatsApp number. Let's take this next person on the line. Hello.
Good evening, Diamond. This is Byron G. Taylor Jr. calling you out of Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. You're welcome.
My whole thing is here, Diamond. The country just needs some good leadership. We need some people. We need people that are excellent in leadership for Liberia to move forward. What we have now is just a bunch of people that are just greedy and just trying to do what they can get right now from the country. So if we just have somebody that will put the country first, Liberia will move forward, and we'll pray for leadership. Liberia needs leadership right now. The guy in Burkina Faso, look at the work he's doing. If we can get somebody to do that work, it would be just great. We need somebody that patriotic. Absolutely. And that's how Liberia will move forward, where everybody can enjoy Liberia. Thank you, Diamond, for
Thank you.
minutes.
You're welcome. So we'll take another call here. Hello.
Good afternoon.
You're live, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what I have to do is Moses calling from Caldwell.
You're welcome, Moses. Please go ahead.
The topic on the discussion, when you read our constitution, like my brother was saying that the president they don't want to work. The president did not say that. The president is saying it better you work with the majority group because Sumunati is the speaker, but they have quorum to exercise his function. And if you have quorum, the president not to keep the country hostage, he had to work with the quorum group. But first, let me say something. You will not do good to the country because even the constitution say the thing the people doing the order is not legal. It's what we call 1,000,000% politics. But the constitution also say the three branches of government work separately, equal. That means separate, but we are separate and equal in power. But no government should interfere with another. No branch should interfere with other branch. Meaning, what is happening in our place? If you was somebody who's because the law is reasoning.
Chief Justice Saneyo, sir. Let's be respectful of our leaders. Chief Justice. Hello, sir. So she is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. You address her by her title.
Let her go and tell Frank that the man, you're going to work with your friends. Then they'll say, want to, bring their information. She was saying all the things they put there is illegal. So what about the budget? And she sends me to go defend the budget. So the money she been taking, the salary, and say, let us send it back. Then we know for what she's saying is true. Because she said everything the people doing is illegal. But the budget, they pass the budget, she sends people from a place there. She's the head. She sends me to go and defend the budget. So how she can reconcile this?
All right, sir. Thank you. All right. So Tanu Fokpa, how are you doing? My former colleague here at Spoon. Hope you're doing great. We go back to the phone lines 0777 77 1075 0555 101075. Hello.
Yeah.
You live, please go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my man. What is on my mind? Let me just address the issue because you kept asking one caller say when did the president say you're not honoring the ruling for the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
But you want a bigger platform. You should be following your event.
Chief, the president never said he will not honor. Look, before you try to correct somebody and you come with malice and you come with intention, the president said that he recognizes the ruling of the Supreme Court, but however, he will work with the quorum. He never said anywhere that he's not going to honor the ruling of the Supreme Court. So when we come to the radio, it's a part of our job to correct wrong information.
No, there's not a correcting. You should follow up.
All right, sir. So thank you. If you think your following up was what it is, you will not allow people to give wrong information based on sentiments. The president didn't say he will not honor the ruling of the Supreme Court. He acknowledged the ruling of the Supreme Court, and however said he will work with the group. He will work with a quorum. He didn't even mention a group. So let's stick to the facts of the matter and leave the whole politicking. And I'm not a politician. I'm only here to provide you with the information as it was said. Yeah, Chief. Thank you for the correction, but you know who water. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Diamond. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Let's hear you out, please.
Yes, this discussion about the impasse of the Capitol building is causing a whole lot of problem for the nation. And the president's acknowledgement and all in this regard for the decision of the Supreme Court will again create additional political problems. So the situation is not solved. And I heard that he's calling traditional leaders to come to Moreover. They are going to traditional money. And what are they going to do? Constitutional matter. The issue is not traditional. That you are going traditional people to say the system that have been used program what he wants to use. These are all political. Have said that the session had together and then you all go to political fast. And you can put and say, we don't want to do it. So we don't want to happen. Let's talk. But if you guys is something, that is you are bringing the Supreme Court down. You know, they are the interpreter of the Constitution. You guys make laws for who? Supreme Court. So it is very dear brother. This Mario Boa President set the Supreme Court at the situation.
Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Mr. Witherspoon, to you.
Can you hear me?
Chief, your image is frozen.
Okay. All right, let me see.
You there?
Yeah, you can hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you, see you, but your image is frozen.
All right.
Okay, so you can go back and rejoin the link. Whilst you're doing that, let's take this next person here on the line. 0777-1075, 0555-101075. Those are the numbers to call. Let's take this next person. Hello.
Oh, Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Chief. Let's hear you out.
This is Peter Watson for the Control Community.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, for me, what on my mind is about the LBC business. Since July, more 40 for meter. Up to now, we can't get it. Every time we go, they don't meet in the country. I don't know how they start for the coming out home. Now they see people doing power step all around, according to what around. But when you're pulling for meter, since July 12, up to now, you can't get it. You think that it has been pulled up, they'll be waiting for a long time. So they have to try and do something about the meter business. If the meter get on, at least the power will go down. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for bringing that up as well. I experienced that, I think in 5-6 years ago. I went to the LEC's office at Waterside and did all of the requirements to get a meter. And I was told to pay the money. At that time, they were charging $51 or so. Paid it at the bank, got the pink slip, went back there, and they said, we'll have a crew to connect you. I said, good. At the end of the day, it lasted years. And I had to, use my own way of doing things and get a meter through the system. Before, I think after they installed the meter 2-3 years later or so, before I got called that my meter that they want to issue me is now ready. So it's true that people want to connect legally. And the issue of LEC responding to issues and problems, especially when people have 40 meters, is also a contributing factor to the high rate and high rise in power theft cases in the country. Because what people want is to be able to be connected, enjoy the electricity, and pay for it. But if there is a problem and the problem cannot be resolved in a reasonable time span, and then people decide to go the other way, it's the same LEC employees, and some of those who have gone to these vocational schools, they will be the ones to climb on the pole and connect people illegally. So if we want a good system, there should be a fast response to not just connecting new customers, but existing customers with issues. I'm sure the new management team at LEC can look at that and look in that direction, because if you're able to solve these problems, you're able to generate more revenue, you're able to reduce the rate of power theft in the country. So, Mr. Witherspoon, I do see you in the background. So if you're ready, you can come on and let's test the connection again and see if it's good. If you're just joining us, this is one-on-one with the CEO here on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. I'm producing tonight. The CEO and the rest of the guys will come on, and it promises to be an interesting show as well. All of the politics and everything else in between will be said tonight. And as he usually says, you say your own, I say my own. At the end of the day, the Liberian people we will decide. It's 5 minutes up to 8 p.m. And we are with Mr. Witherspoon and the rest of the guys to join the program, and they can continue from there. We also want to keep wishing Lorena Honoré a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. I hope she's celebrating in grand style. The pictures and the videos coming in shows that yes, she is celebrating in grand style, and Dido calls it. You have to be on post. The other guys are enjoying, doing work. By the end of the day, it is what it is. So see you. I do see you in the background. When you're ready, you can come on. Let me say hi to some of the folks. Kelvin Dunar, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Tracy Anderson is also doing I hope you're doing wonderful. Adolphus M. Thomas is watching. Washington B. Way is watching, as well as Russell Tue. Is that my classmate? Yeah, I'm sure it's Russell Tue, my course mate. Hope you're doing good. Vamadi Donzo is also following us tonight. Takwa Kusan is watching. Samuel Peters is following us, as well as Rufus L. Cole. Shadrach Monyu is watching as well. Vamadi, yeah, I mentioned your name. Paul and Cooper, Duda Daniel, and Mr. Witherspoon is watching.
Dama is blocking me. Titi, Dama blocking me.
I'll block you.
Okay, so you hear me now. All right, Titi, but I'll let you complain.
You're letting me complain to who?
To the CEO. She on the phone.
That's why she came to the studio door and then she turned back.
Oh, she want a spy. She want a spy. I told her you blocking me. Let the person that wrote and tell the old man that they complain to the old man that the person right. So what's up, Dama? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Chief. And how are you?
Oh, thank God, man. The jersey you got, which team jersey is it?
Oh, it's the mighty FC Barcelona.
Oh, Barcelona. Okay, so that Barcelona they call Baca?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They won again?
Yeah. I didn't at least believe on me on football, Benny. He's a player.
No, seriously. I don't know. Seriously, I really don't know them. Barcelona, Baca, and they play who? They play the Real Madrid, right?
But I thought you were a Chelsea fan. I know Chelsea or Arsenal. Which one?
My man, I'm nobody fan, but I'm not interested in the football team. They play who? They play Real Madrid.
Yeah, but you get all the answers there. So like confirmation you want from me.
How many goals? 3-1?
No, it was the game ended 3-2.
3-2. Okay, you see, I need the eyes. I mean, my thing is that it's not about the game. I heard Fundetta Patrick screaming from the video club and said, I said, brother, you want the video club to watch? I mean, man of your status, go to the video club to watch the game. But I think about his excuse, right? He said you find it enjoyable to go to the video club.
It is.
Yeah.
So I've done it on a number of occasions. For me, I'm always watching the game alone, so you wouldn't feel it.
You don't. There's no. They don't put you in that spirit. Yeah.
But it's also good. You have to be measured which of the places you're going to watch the game, because there are sometimes some rowdy people. You go there and the interaction might not be friendly. Some people got shot.
So that's why he was saying. So you know the man at GC Pepsi. The man want to go to the right spot for the right reason. That's why they call him GC Pepsi. You know what I mean? If they say GC Pepsi. So the man say, my man, I could hear the noise. Man, the play it looked like it was jam packed. I mean, they were very loud. That's why my man just called me back. So after the game, I think he's a Real Madrid fan. He said, my man, they beat us. Yeah. So he will give me some updates. So now, let me ask you a question though. What was benefiting as to who win or who lost? Because the man, when he was down, he was frustrated. People bet on the game. I mean, you bet on the game. That's why you're mad, or you just lost the team. I mean, what's the seriousness of this game?
So, from a sports enthusiast like yourself,
no, I'm not. I'm not.
I remember we had a show on one night, and there was either American football or something playing, and you were spying the TV in your office.
Correct.
So if you tell me you're not a sports enthusiast, but you were looking at the TV,
yeah, you're right. You're right. I love to watch the game in the final, right? All the playoff, the 60 games they're going to play. You know, NBA will play 100 and something games. I have no interest. When they go for the NBA final, I love to watch the game. So football, when they're going for the final, you know, the Super Bowl, I love to watch the game. Okay. But this European Cup something or Italian league, I got no clue, right? I got no clue. So, I mean, I'm not like Kev that they keep this TV on the sport channel. No, I have no clue as to Chelsea, Barcelona, how you call it, Liverpool, Arsenal. And, you know, I don't even know the player that makes them up. So,
all right, let me answer your question. So, it's an issue of passion. You know, you get vested in a team. You follow the team. You put yourself into it, like the way you love your show, the way you love Spoon Talk. If you don't come on, you feel like your day hasn't been made. That's how it is.
Like yesterday, I felt bad when y'all turned the show off on me. Yeah, I felt too bad.
So is that passion, you know, is that commitment that you have, the feeling of victory, the sadness of losing, and all those things is what people enjoy, the emotional roller coaster and all these things. Yeah, most of us in Liberia don't contribute to our teams. We don't support them through our dues and all of that. But the kind of support that we put, the emotional support, is what we follow. People do bet and all of that. Those who bet, they know why they bet, to each his own. But once you follow a team and you're a fan of that team, it's all about the passion, it's about the love, irrespective of where you are. And I started following Barcelona since 1998. So it tells you where I've been with them. So that's how it is.
So is there any way, it kept welcome though, is there any way you guys benefit from this love that you have for the team?
Yeah, you benefit good feelings when you win. You know,
that's it.
Money can buy that. It's the passion, the zest, the emotions when your team is losing and you chewing your nails and all this.
Have you bet?
The enjoyment I get from watching the game and winning is the benefit.
Have you bet before?
No, I'm not a fan of betting. No, I'm not.
Okay, but you got, it's optional, right? It's optional. You can bet, right?
It's optional. Those who choose to bet can bet, but for me, I don't. You know, yeah. But those who choose
to before Kev, because Kev knows more about Freetown ball. So we're bringing in shortly. He knows more about Freetown ball. So my thing is that Freetown ball came from Sierra Leone, right? Had a ball, you put a two small pole, and you're 2-2 or 3-3, and you play your Freetown ball. That's why they named it Freetown ball. That kept on a major sport. But again, Dama, let's just go into it a little bit. Maybe something that satisfy you different from something that may satisfy me, right? Just watching the game and the fun and the folks coming around. When President Boga came, I think his team, I don't know, Arsenal, Liverpool, one of them. You know, I'm not a football fan, but I pretended.
Know which team you mentioned that team on the show?
No, but I pretended like I was in it because just satisfy the puppet. But I don't know. Yeah, just you gotta pretend. You gotta say, hey, yeah. But But again, though, again, at the end of the day, I wish you guys luck, man. I see no enjoyment in Barcelona and Barca, Real Madrid.
You sound like a Madrid fan. You sound like a Madrid fan who is really from the.
Actually, if you put all of them, like if I see them, I only favor Chelsea at the time, right? Because
you also
Chelsea. You're right. Because I saw Didi Drogba playing for them, Henry playing for them, and the old guys there, Ito them, they used to score beautiful goals. Those are the problems. Right now, I don't know because Chelsea is done. So maybe I don't know, but they're talking about Barca and Real Madrid, and so now who's the champ? Barca is the champ.
So Barcelona is the current champions in the King's Cup. That was the final that we won last night. And with the current champions in the Spanish Super Cup, we won that in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. And we tapping the table now when it comes to the La Liga, which is the season-long league, you know. And amazingly, I'm a born and bred Barcelona fan, but my son is a Real Madrid fan. So yesterday we were watching the game together. It was interesting.
How old is your son?
He's 7, and he supports Real Madrid. He sings their songs. He knows their celebration.
Who is how you call him playing for? What's his name? Number 7, Ronaldo. Who is he playing for? Ronaldo. Who is Ronaldo playing for?
So Ronaldo currently plays for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia.
Also, he's done now.
He's no longer at Real Madrid. He left years ago. He plays for Al Nassr, but you know, he's a Madrid legend, and he drew a lot of people to Real Madrid as well. So
okay.
So the Madrid people saying no good topic for the show today.
Oh, because so they don't want us to talk about. Huh?
As opposed to in a carry last minute to turn last.
No, but I strongly believe that the team that play well wins. So it doesn't matter what the strength is.
Interestingly, my son came and he started playing the Madrid song on the Bluetooth speaker. It was teasing me. So we won the game.
Cap, who Cap? You were celebrating. Who were you celebrating for?
Well, I'm a Real Madrid fan.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan, and I support Madrid. But Barcelona were the better team yesterday. There was a better team, but I don't think Real Madrid played their best. But I'm a Real Madrid fan. Barcelona were better. You know, they got some skillful player. You know, there are people like Torres and the other African picking and so other good player, but and their number 9 was not even there. But I thought the coach make a little bit error by not playing Mbappe in the beginning.
Yeah, but I'll take this at the end of the day. Congrats to FCB. Congrats to them. I think they did extremely well. I didn't watch the game after Dama interrupted the program due to routine technical.
I wanted to watch the game.
I think that was the reason I wanted to watch the game. We just came up to say, well, then I will be back today. A lot of people called, but anyway, they got a message.
Yeah, but El Clasico is one of the best that people watch. Over 1 billion people can watch that game, El Clasico.
Is that another team called El Clasico?
Well, with Barcelona and Real Madrid play, that's the name for El Clasico.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic. Classic.
Oh, El Clasico. Okay. So anything that you will not make money in, my friend, don't sweat it.
People make money. People make money. When you were asking them on something, you say, everybody get a team. When you sit down in the Italian shop and you sit down with your friends and you argue, that argument, the game, if you don't win, your team don't win, your day finish, because when you go argue, you finish. And you say, whenever you were watching in those places, that way you enjoy your game, Benson. You will not enjoy your game.
Yeah, my man, but I ain't going to go there. Listen, brother, I'm not going to go in. I ain't going to go and go watch football game, man. But you'll leave me alone. But you and Damo can go watch a football game. And, except you get other reason of watching football game. And you can let yeah, man.
Different feeling there.
I say you get other reasons, say you're going to the video club or your Cooper pass away, you falling from where, Cooper? You Real Madrid fan or you FC Baga fan? LEC2, where are you joining us from? We want to say welcome to all of you. Again, the team will be joining us. We're going to be having a wonderful show. A lot of stuff happening today, Damo, on this segment. I am seriously concerned about some major negotiation talking in the back, in the front, and all over. Where is President Boaga? You know, a lot of people coming to talk about the issue about re-argument. Re-argument from where? Are we talking about re-argument from where now? Where are we arguing from? You say you won, you say, well, you got the lead, and you talk about re-argument. I'm not. But let me ask you, right, Damon and Kev Hassan, but before the guys join us, you say you won. You got the blessing of the president. And you got quorum. You got over 49 members. And everything is on your side. Why are you going to the Supreme Court? Damon. No, Kev will bring you in. Damon, if you're doing something, I can go to Kev real quick and come back to you. Because, yeah, my question here, and folks are begging you because you guys got to help me answer this thing. A lot of stuff happening. The majority of Black, our own brother Richard Quorum from the southeastern part of the country, said they won. Okay. He said he's a speaker. He said, well, I don't need the Supreme Court. The president is on my side, Ever Quorum. If everything is going the way, why are they going back to the Supreme Court for re-argument? Can anybody just answer that and just, are we missing something here? You are the winner. I'm the winner. I'm the winner. Oh, the devil know that I am the winner. You are the winner. You won. President Boaga agree with you and say he will work with you continuously. You got quorum. You got money. You got over 49 members standing with you. One question. And ladies and gentlemen, please help us understand. Then we'll go to question number 2. Before everybody come on, you say you are the winner. Why are you going back to the Supreme Court? Okay.
The reason they're going back to the Supreme Court because they understand that the Supreme Court is the final stage, right? They understand the law, but they're sending different message to their folks. They're playing on both sides. They're speaking on both sides of the mouth. They understand that the Supreme Court ruling that came out on last week on Wednesday is the fact. They know the Constitution, that the Constitution is not on the side. They know everything but Stanton, but they're just sending red meat to the base. Because one thing the Unity Party understand, I can tell you this clearly, Stanton, they understand that their base don't understand certain things. They know that Unity Party folks out there don't know anything. They just send red meat and they just capture it, go out there. If you listen to the press, to their press conference today, you will understand that they know what is doing in the back, but they're just sending things out there. They do understand the Supreme Court ruling. They know that Richard Quorum is not a speaker, so they're going back and they're fighting there so they can overturn it. That's all. But you're right, Stanton. If you get the president on your side and you say you get a number on your side, and you went out and say the Supreme Court that nothing, what are you going to do there? But the reason they're going there, Stanton, because they understand that Richard Quorum is not a speaker. They understand that.
Okay. All right. So let me bring Dama in, guys. The team will be joining us. Share our show. This will be your fascinating Dama. I'm just going to be throwing the question out there and the people can answer because nobody should be deceived here. Dama, you are the winner. FC Baka won. You are celebrating. You are celebrating. There is no way for them to go and play another game again that was already played. You are the champion right now. You are the winner.
Labrador should understand it's not Baka, it's Basa. It's Barcelona.
Okay, remember, I knew your correction. Kev, let's flow now. But man, we're not even talking about again because
that's why I just want to.
But Diamond, my thing is that at the end of the day, right? If you are the winner, this is big. Liberians should just hear us. Diamond, this is really big. The president is on your side. The vice president is on your side. You say you got over 49 members of your house. You said the Supreme Court, that liquor talk, and they don't know what they're talking about. You will not listen to them. Come on. Why even dream about having re-argument?
So the issue of re-argument, there are several factors that affects, a party to go back to the Supreme Court, and petition for re-argument. One could be the view that there was an error made by the Supreme Court, or historical references might have been wrong, or there might be a change, that the Supreme Court overlooked. So going back, we want to firstly establish that going for a re-argument to the Supreme Court to see if your re-argument can overturn their previous opinion is not against the law, it's allowed. As to why they are going back to the Supreme Court, I can't speak to the reason behind that. But if it's because of legitimacy or legality, we will be following.
Dama, you posted the paper, you didn't read it. Hey, Dama, you posted the paper, the reason was given from 1 to 28 or 31. You didn't read it, Dama? There you go. It was right there. They posted they were impeached as Supreme Court members because we're going to put it out, Dama. They're calling for impeachment. Schiatate. Rachel Kuhn said the country would burn. If you do not reverse the decision, the country would burn down. I can put it up, Dama. But go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
We also say it's a smart move as well, because once they put the motion for a re-argument, the petition there, the Supreme Court will have to consider all of that. And it can also be giving them the room and the time to see what political solution they can find to the problem, So letting it just hang without taking any step wouldn't be the right way. So they're looking for how best, to be able
why you care, Dama? Why are you care? Why? You say you won already. You say you don't care about the Supreme Court. You condemn them. You insult them, by the way. You said they are liquor talkers. They can drink Kenju, Kitsy Pepsi. You said it, but you're going back to them. You say you got the paper with you, JMB. You don't only have the paper, you have the old man that just came back to the country, JMB Webb. Not only JMB Webb, you say you got ECOWAS with you. You got the UN with you. You got everybody. I heard that you got Donald Trump with you. If everything you said is true, why are you going back to the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen? Why not just wait for the 10th of May and just go back and see whether you got 49 members? Why are you calling lawmakers then? Because yesterday, President Burger was calling lawmakers, and I can name them. Why are you calling lawmakers, Damon? I mean, are you not sure of your win, Damon? Did somebody cheat? You got something that you're not too sure that you won this game, that you are celebrating, Damon? Are you not sure?
So one of the important words that I took from the Supreme Court ruling is the issue of the quorum, and the presence of a presiding officer. So for me, I'm interested in how the mandate or the opinion of the Supreme Court is going to be enforced. The majority black speaker, Richard Kuhn, outrightly said he's going to continue on as speaker because they've got the numbers. And you listen to the president when he said he will continue to work with the quorum. So it's interesting as to see how this is going to unfold, how the number game is going to shift, how they are going to resolve this problem, because the legal aspect has already been done. It is the political aspect that is being played and that has been in place since 8 months ago.
But let me come in. People talk about political aspect of this. There's no political aspect of this thing. The law is the law. the Supreme Court never ruled on political aspect to say, when we do that, that we try to, to listen to the foolishness of the majority black, because the law is the law. They took the law to the Supreme Court. It was not a political matter that went. The Supreme Court don't listen to political matter. Constitutional matter they took to the Supreme Court. Article 33 and 49. Explain it to us. And they explain it. So that thing when people talk about political matter and this, there's no such thing as political matter. The law is the law. Let's respect the law. Period, Diamond. Period.
I never said the law isn't the law.
No, not you now.
I remember when the Chief Justice in December, was reading their opinion. She mentioned that there isn't a clear way for the minority to compel those who are in majority to come and sit under the gavel of the presiding officer, especially when the presiding officer is around and he's not incapacitated. So the issue is, if you want to get rid of the speaker, you must have the numbers to remove him. That is the issue the minority have got. That look, they've not removed the speaker legitimately as enshrined in our laws, and the Constitution is clear that all laws must not be in contradiction with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So these guys are saying they've got the number and they have a presiding officer, and that is where all of these things keep going back and forth and back and forth. So the legal aspect is there, Kev. We know the legal aspect is there. The law is the law. But how then can Fonati Kofa, the embattled speaker, get these guys to come and sit under him when they refuse to? How is he going to compel them?
Here's my point. I beg you, Kev. Let me. The same Diamond coming up with that question, Diamond. May 10th, Kev. May 10th. Richard Crew cannot come up to 39. Then what would the president do?
Exactly.
Diamond.
When both sides do not have a quorum, that is what you're saying.
Correct. I said Richard Crew. I said both sides.
That is going to be a peculiar situation, because then we have a bicameral legislature. So the House of Representatives should work in its way, and the Senate should work in its way. So if you do not have if you do not have the number to make a decision, then that particular branch of the government is going to be incapacitated, and meaning itself, the government itself is going to be incapacitated. But where we will have both sides not having 39 is far unlikely to happen, or 49, whatever the quorum is to make a decision, it's far likely not going to happen.
Why?
People will put their individual interests first, and people will be lobbying as it is.
So I'm asking you a question. It is possible that both sides will not have quorum. All the people will just stay. You got 5 or 6 members out of the country already. They will not return to after the 10 when these guys are back. 1. If you have 73 lawmakers and you get 5 out of the country already, it brings you down to what? 68, right? Yeah. Right now, what we are hearing from the minority black members, they have secured up to 6 members. Then what we are hearing from the majority blacks, say they have secured up to 3 members. So give and take, Fonati have gained 3 members. 3 members on his 27, that 30, Diamond. Plus 5 plus 6 out of the country, that 36. It means that Richard Kun cannot come on the first day of session. He cannot present 37 members. The math is not adding up. What would the president do on that day? Would the president then say, I got quorum? Just follow the math here. Because we're speaking to them, Kev. We are speaking to them. You have 6 members out of the country. I'm sure that 1 will be going back home. So you'll be having 6 members out of session on that day. So I want everybody to listen. If you do have 6 members on that day, right? Then what happened? You got Fanati and the minority black. Go on Facebook. Look at Eugene Cody. They are saying I spoke to some members are saying yes, indeed, they're going to Fanati camp. I spoke to them. I can announce it. Some of them will be having press conferences tomorrow. And I'm asking you to please go there because I'll send you the number. You don't have to call that lawmaker name, Damo. Two of them having the press conference tomorrow. Please do not announce his name or their name or her name. But I am saying to you, look at your phone right now. I am telling you, you have to go to those two members right now as we're speaking, because what I do, I'm speaking to them. I am saying to you, they are going to cross over to Funati camp. So I am saying to you, look at your phone. You just saw the name that I sent you, right? And you just saw the name that I sent you, Damo. Look at your phone. Please be there tomorrow. That one. I'm going to say the next person's name. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do here on the show while we wait for the guys. You have 73 lawmakers. 73. I confirm 100% too. Tomorrow they'll be coming out of the press statement. That one you got a name. Sam Koga is out. He's a senator-elect. He can't do anything right now. Can he? That's a different argument. We can go there. But he's a senator-elect. So right now, all of the 73 lawmakers, ladies and gentlemen, take your pen and paper. Let's do some math. Sam Koga is up. They come down to 72. Damn. All of the 72, you got 6 out of the country, right? You come down to 66. 66. We show off the 6 that are out of the country. 1 is returning, so that will be +1. It gave you 67. So when this representative return to session, they must have 67 members. Come on. And this is the perfect key map everybody need to know. This is the perfect key map everybody need to know. 67. For Auntie Kofa say we get, but no. Listen, don't let me call people in here. As I'm speaking to you right now, more news coming to me. For Auntie Kofa say what we got, 27, 28. Let's give him 28 for the sake of argument. Now, what's the math? 67 from 28. What's the number? We are, listen, the reason why Mame and others calling for this big negotiation, Stanton, I am in a position now to call for negotiation. Me, that's my position right now, and I will tell you why. Kev and Dama. The reason why we are doing this thing because of conversation we have it in the back. I'm limited to what I said, but I do believe, Dama, you get the first name, and I'm going to put this post up. Please go there tomorrow. If the majority black call you, please don't share that information with them.
I know they'll be calling Dama now.
No, but Dama, I respect Dama. I respect Dama. You do no such thing.
Yeah, Dama is a well professional. So
yeah, I respect Dama. You do no such thing.
Senator-elect Koga is, until he's certificated by the NEC, he is still a representative. Though
No,
he's a senator,
no, the people argue that. They argue with that. They said no.
no, he is still a representative until he's certificated by the NEC.
No, they are arguing with that.
So they're working on that to delay that too. the body working.
You know, and until that is done, he still caucuses with the House of Representatives. You know, it's the certificate from the NEC that he would take to the Senate to get inducted, Kev. You know that's how it works.
Okay, know? so now you want to bring Koga back in the camp. We gave you Koga. No. Come on, I gave you Koga.
They're saying that Koga ain't, so they say Koga ain't win again now. He will win next week. Right now, he win.
You are with an excuse. If you caucus and you are absent,
I gave you Koga. Dama.
I'm taking you back a bit by bit, right? If you are absent with an excuse, and you send in a written communication to the black for which you caucus with, or let's say no caucusing with a black, but the House of Representatives in general, that excuse can be granted.
No. Come on, put everything in the book. Let's forget today. Let's do a fight before the other guy come on. You want Koga back? I give you Koga.
You making it to the low level.
Before they come back, Koga should be senator. Before they come back, May 9, May 10, Koga should be senator because he got to represent Nimba.
No, I'm not talking about the time spent. I was trying to say that until he gets certificated,
he will be, unless the board start playing games. But before the 10th, before the open, he should be. He should be. Quick.
My man. I know the reason why we come on is it's 4:30, but I'll say to you, Damon, which is 8:30, like, bro. You want Koga back, we give you Koga. Who else you want?
But I'm playing check or yeah.
Damon, I respect that, but who else you want? You want Koga and who else?
I'm asking for C.
Yeah, man. You want Kim Wing? You want anything? Tell me. We give it to you. Who else you want? I bet you, yeah.
Yeah, but Diamond, this is not about numbers again.
They cry on Koga, Kev. They are crying on Koga. They begging Koga and say, you saw our thing. You won the election prior to us facing this thing. You say our chairman. They call Koga to RLJ. Koga say, I'm going there, my man. My position changed. My level changed. You're for your battle. Our senator elect right now. So if they want Koga back, let it ask NEC to delay the certification. That's fine. LEC can delay. Koga remain representative. That's why you want. I mean, you're crying for the numbers.
On the 9th or 10th, Koga will be sitting in the Senate chamber.
Let me provide disclaimer. Eugene J.M. Colley, he confirmed this. The rule of law caucus has been steadfast since the onset of the impasse at the Capitol building and will never be deterred by any means of leaving this block. There you go. You should be concerned that you have lost two of your members, the Honorable Man Koga and Honorable Austin, along with 4 others who will join Speaker Kofa to achieve quorum and conduct business as soon as possible. Damn on, that James Colley. James Colley.
It's good that quorum to conduct the Liberian people business is essential and with a legitimate presiding officer. I want to see this matter resolved as per the rules and the laws of the House of Representatives, their own rules that are in line with the Constitution, because then it serves as a deterrent. Prior to Speaker Kofa's impasse, other speakers were resigning just along the road. When the political pressure was too much, they resigned and they let it be. So it became a norm. So if we can have this thing play out in all aspects without, all of the shenanigans of the threat of it affecting the peace and stability of the country, let there be a precedent set by law that will deter others. Now, look, Kofa did it. The Supreme Court opined, and the opinion of the Supreme Court is a precedent, and any other speaker in future will follow that particular path.
So I will interrupt you right there. That's exactly why Kofa won. That's exactly what Kofa called him for. Don't do the nonsense again. That if you don't like the man's skin color, you don't like the blood, you don't like the food he eats, you don't like the country he's from, you just don't like him, and you say, well, we're going to sit somewhere else because we don't like you. And because we want to sit somewhere else, we don't have the numbers, we'll use by fire, by force, and overthrow you. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And that's why Kofa said, no, I will not resign. Me, I know Kofa will leave. I know Kofa will not be speaker. I know Kofa don't want it. I can announce that Kofa just want the right thing done. Kofa don't want to be speaker again. All Kofa asking for, do the right thing. Today, let's welcome our brother, the councillor Lafayette Good. Whenever I call the councillor name, you know what, I be making a mistake. Sometimes I'm not referring to him, but I think he be doing it to take a brother place, or the chairman from ANC. He calls me. But on a serious note, folks, I really want to tell you, are you understanding this thing where we bring Governor Clinton? He just from the church service, my people, he's not from court to this Sunday, he's just from the church service. But let me say this though, it is important for us to realize that that might hang with us, I'm begging you. That what we bring in Lafayette Good and that of Governor Clinton, there will be no way, you celebrate your victory, you celebrate a win, then you come back again and say you can help us. For that Kofa, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me and listen to me well. Because when I say I mean it, and you know that's true. For that Kofa don't want to be speaker. He doesn't. He doesn't want to be speaker at all. For that Kofa just want the law to be the law. If you do that which is right, whether you're the priest, whether you're the elders, whether you're the medicine man from how you call them, the chief elders, damn all they put in. How you call the puppy that gets sick today?
The chicken on my way home.
The puppy that gets sick today, what you name? John, we have a medicine man. What you name, man? Zanzan Kaba. Yeah, what are you, Zanzan Kaba? Or you Joseph Braga get a new medicine man, or wherever you may be. I'm saying to you, for that thing, Kofa just want the law to be the law.
Whether you Sasewu,
or anything you want to do that you're busy. What you're gonna go bring for the family, you know all the medicine men from Bon County. Whatever the case may be, all Fonati asking, and the international community 1 year, Fonati is a speaker, you remain the speaker. President Boaga can have his quorum, that's fine. Fonati remain the speaker. So, my second question, and all I will do today, that question, then when you will come in, Kev Hassan, then we'll go to Councilor. We got two councilors here, Councilor Gu and Councilor Clinton. Damn. Often at one, the law. Is Richard Kuhn afraid that if they have another election today, he may not win? Because, Damo, can you call that spoon something from there? Or it got to be there, right? When I say your face.
I'll move it and I'll work on it. Tomorrow we'll have a better one.
Okay. So, but my thing is that though, is Richard Kuhn afraid? That's the second question on the board right now. If Richard Kuhn knows that he got 49 or 50 members, why can't he go for election? And I guarantee you that day, they send people to do election. That day, trust me, Fonati will step down. That day. Why can't Richard Kuhn go for election, Damo? And he got 50 members?
Well, that's a good question, and it's a question that involves, critical thinking. If you have the numbers, and it takes 49 to impeach or remove a presiding or a speaker, and it has taken you over 7 months, to be able to get that number, and you are still unable to do that, it raises the question as to how well liked are you, or how much respected are you amongst your colleagues. And if you were to take that gamble, that risk of going for an election and your chances are slim, you wouldn't want to go for a speakership election, because there are others that are lobbying as all of this is happening. There are others who are just following you because they need to get their share of the budget or whatever allotments they need to get and all of those things. But in reality, they do not support you. And if there were to be an election, there was a better option aside from what it is, they will go for that option as well. So,
so are you announcing here as an independent network journalist? Are you announcing that probably Richard Kuhn, he doesn't have the numbers?
I'm not making an announcement. I'm making an analysis. That if it is to go for a speakership election, probably that's the reason we've not seen that. People have done their political calculations. They know who in their corner in reality. They know how well liked they are. Maybe the period of serving as a majority speaker, it has also turned a lot of people off in a lot of things. So you know who are those truly in your corner, and you know what kind of.
You're right. You're right. So let me ask Kev. Richard Kuhn say, can you give me that picture, Diamond, the 49 members picture? I think we had it some time ago, if you can find it. Kev, yeah, so Richard Kuhn said, listen, we have quorum. Diamond, you deleted all I want to know.
Let me try and get it back. I'm trying to get rid of this stuff.
Hola, many pictures.
Get it? Yeah.
So let me say that. Yeah, you put them in quorum. You get out of quorum. Okay. My issue here is that Richard Kun said he got 49 to 50 members. If that be the case, Kev, if that is true, Kev, why you can't agree to go for election and let Fonati go sleep? Because immediately if you have election today, Fonati done because you have the members, right?
That's what's supposed to be. But Stanton, we saw the speakership incident that happened in Capitol Hill in America, right? When they had their members, they went on the floor, and we saw it in this country, and they went to vote. With certain member never wanted the speaker within the Republican Party, but because the speaker knew he had a number, he took it to the floor. I dare Kun to take it to the floor, but Kun is not stupid. He doesn't have the number. I dare Kun. If anybody go and watch, a couple of months ago, Councillor Gould, Clinton, you saw it. We all saw it. They took it to the floor. It was open in the media because he had the numbers, and we saw the process. But because Richard Kun, there is no 49. Everything they're doing, it just flashing. There is no 49. And the sad part to this whole thing, guys, is because the way they're dragging the president into this nonsense and making Liberia look like a state of mockery. People are laughing. Listen, you sit among other country people, Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians. Liberia is a laughing stock right now because they ask him, well, the Supreme Court now talk. The Constitution is there. But what going on in Liberia? How Liberia looking uneducated now? Why Liberia has a lot of educated people, a lot of good lawyers there, like you guys, two of you guys here. You went to school, you know the Constitution. Why is this president making this country look funny in the eyes of the international community and with folks? You said among your friends that from different countries, they're laughing at you. They're making fun at you because of the mockery that this government is putting. That might rest for now. Maybe you can call the other guys that will come in. But folks are laughing. They are laughing. Liberia. Liberia is a fun box. Fun. What kind of thing is this? Diamond, you can call the next person. I think is Councillor Gould.
Yeah, so Councillor Gould, and Esquire Gamonde Clinton, you guys are welcome, and you can do your intro and just jump on the conversation until the CEO rejoins us here.
Okay, Diamond. So thank you, Diamond. Good evening to all of my fellow panelists. Good evening to the people of Liberia and others who are listening to us. You know, for me, like I always say, I stand on the side of the law. And if any one of you who followed me, especially you, Diamond, you've been in Liberia for long, you followed many of us. So you'll be one of the persons who can testify that we've always stood by the law. And we don't care about where it falls because the law is blind. All we know is the law must be the law. So in this particular impasse, they can do whatever negotiation they're doing at the back, whatever talk they are having. Our concern is that the law should be followed. The Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter of the law, especially constitutional matters, has ruled. And we expect that all parties will respect the opinion of the court. Or we expect it. Let me not say expect. We expect it that all parties who have accepted the opinion of the court. Because why? All parties took oath to support, uphold, defend, and protect the Constitution. And it went further. The oath says, bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic. Not to myself, not to my boss, not to my president, but to the Republic. So wherever the law falls, whoever side it falls on, whether positively or negatively, whether in your favor or against you, we are all on an obligation to respect and uphold the law. That has been my position from the past. That remains my position today. Are we respecting the Constitution in this particular case? I say no. The Constitution laid the procedures. Now, I normally hear our other brothers on the show talk about, oh, you know, the threshold bill was not passed, our resolution was passed. The country took a decision. Yes. In the case of the threshold bill, it was not an issue of somebody's right being or privilege being violated. And that case was never taken to the court. Nobody went to the court to challenge the resolution. So we all as a people agree, because it didn't harm anybody individually, right? And no right or privilege. In the case of the removal of the speaker, it is the privilege of a person that is at stake. And the Constitution provided the provision and the procedure on how you can deprive a person of that privilege. Because to be a speaker is not a right, it's a privilege. But the Constitution also talks about, before you deprive, nobody should be deprived of life, liberty, or privilege. So to deprive a person of his privilege, you must follow due process. I also hear my other colleague normally can get on the show and say the horse has its own due process. Where are you coming from? Due process is fundamental. There must be one of the first cardinal elements of due process is that the tribunal must have the competence. It must have that legal authority to hear the matter. Did the majority black in its operation constitute a legal tribunal to call the speaker to investigation according to them and take an action to remove him? The Supreme Court says no. So if the tribunal had lost its authority, where do you come from now to say that the process, the whole issue is political? I also heard Big Brother Jerome Valia before said that the speaker took the case to the Supreme Court, which was political. What he forgot to know is that the speaker went to the court also. He didn't go to the court until he was, quote unquote, removed. Then he went to challenge his removal, which is his privilege. That was a legal issue that was raised before the court. The court acted. And people say, oh, you political lawyer, oh, you political this, oh, you political that. Yeah. We're political lawyer in the past on CDC. We're talking the same way we're talking today. If you consider us to be political lawyer, no problem. We maintain our position as it is. You can characterize us in whatever way you think. But the law is the law. You must have 49 to remove the speaker. And as Stanton said, from the day Fanatic Kofa, Representative Fanatic Kofa appeared on Spoon, from the day he appeared on Spoon to talk, I knew he no longer was interested in being speaker. I knew he was prepared to just have an opportunity to spill the beans. There are a lot of things. Before I close, Stanton, I beg you, just maybe give me one more time. There are a lot of things that behind this removal. That's why the guys consider, let's agree, they remove Kofa. They said that Kofa had overused his budget. Kofa had committed all kinds of malfeasance. Since they remove him, have you heard them talk about auditing his office? Have you heard them talk about turning him over to the LACC for investigation? Have you heard any of those things? No. It tells you that Kofa did not want to go down alone. And some of the people who are leading the cause for him to be removed may also be part of the problem. And that's the opportunity he wanted to what? Spill out everything so that Liberian people can know. And that's what they are denying. That's the reason why they don't want to go back to any electoral process. Because the moment you say that Kofa is, the Supreme Court said Kofa is speaker. So obviously the election that was held is not a void. You have to go back to the election. The fear when somebody from the minority black end up becoming speaker, they'll open audit, they'll open investigation.
Yeah, but again, thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor. Let me bring Councillor Clinton. Clinton, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Stanton. Thank you. Look, we've done a lot of talking, on this issue, and I think at this point, the president and his government has to understand that there is a position out there, and is becoming a consensus across the country that he has to adhere to the rule of law. And this is coming from reputable lawyers, reputable politicians, and states president across the country. The president has to respect the rule of law. It is now the president's job to worry about the quorum in the national legislature, right? It is just not the president's job. The president's job is to respect and execute the laws. The Supreme Court has ruled, the Supreme Court has affirmed Kofa's authority as Speaker of the House of Representatives. The president must abide by that ruling, but first his government recognizing Speaker Kofa, then providing the privileges that he's due, and then we can begin to talk about the other things. And Kofa is clear, and I think, Stanton, you printed this. I don't think at this point Kofa he has an intention to stay on as Speaker. What he said from the very beginning is to ensure that the laws are followed, respect for the rule of law. And I think, we all are proponents of the rule of law, and we want to see this to the very end. And we are insisting that the laws must be followed. Whether or not Kofa wants a job, we want to see Kofa restored, and we want to see an elections in accordance with the law. These group of people cannot and will not be allowed to undermine the very authority of the Constitution and the Supreme Court and get away with it.
Are you okay? You went up.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. So, guys, and listen, and that's what I like about Spoon Talk, right? The one-on-one, even better. Listen, we can confirm that there are some movement away from the minority black to the majority black. I can confirm 3 lawmakers as of today that attended some of the media and those that have agreed to join the majority black. So there's shifting back and forth. I'm going to find a picture. I'm hearing the name Emmanuel Dan. Was he part of the majority black or the minority black? I'm hearing the name Romeo Quay. I'm hearing the name Mama Bridge Mensah. Those are the three right now as of today. And don't forget, as of Wednesday, Richard Kuhn got another signature sheet moving around. He got almost, again, people signing on another whole new signature sheet that you go in there, you get your mark, you sign, you go home. These are breaking news right now. You got 10 or 15 of them just coming from having a meeting right now. And hey, I have to say this, they met the VP. I don't want to go there because, again, I have some pictures coming in, but I want to be very careful because this is what we do, right? Clinton, Kev, Lafayette, this is what we do. I'm going to call this name. Damo, can you put a picture up for me? Representative Mama Bridge Mensah, Representative Emmanuel Dan, Representative Romeo Quay. Can you help me understand? If you have people leaving from the minority black, because these people were spoken to by President Bouaka, he called them personally. They went to his house. These people are moving back and forth. Things are shifting. I can announce to you why Representative Richard Kuhn gaining momentum by taking some people away from the, because he must have quorum. He must have quorum. Yet still, Speaker Kofa is also taking some members away from Richard Kuhn. The equation is not balanced. The map is not adding up. But I'm begging you, Damo Slanger, the producer tonight, please give me those photos. I'm going to call the names again right now. They were in a meeting, between 10, 15 of them in a meeting right now. They went pay respect to my own brother and friend, Jeremiah Kuhn, who have assured them that all is well. Again, I'm saying it as an independent journalist. And again, and I'm calling these names. They were in some meeting concerning leadership, something, or one of the committee, 10 or 15 of them. They went at the RLJ. Right now, I can tell you, you got 3 members that are solid, that have shifted. They have signed the paper. They have given the whole self in it. You got Mama Bridge Mensah. Mama said, I'm not going to be part of anything. I want to go back to my district and just work with my people. My own sister, that's my sister though. Mama Bridge Mensah. She have guaranteed. She have given her word that she will support Richard Kuhn and the majority black. Can you imagine? Can you just keep Mama picture off for a bit, Kev? What's running through your mind here? Let's talk about those that are going over to Richard Kuhn. We'll talk about Emmanuel Dan from district number 7. We'll go to Romeo Quay again from Sano County. But let's talk about Mama Bridge. Talk to me, Kev.
Mama Bridge was always wishy-washy. That's what I would say. She was always playing on both sides. So if somebody's saying that she will join Richard Kuhn because she feel that she bought into that narrative that we can remove you from ECOWAS. She bought into that narrative and said we can remove you. So it will not be strange for me to hear, because in the whole thing she said she remain independent. In the whole thing, she said she remain independent. She was not on both sides. So for her to move to the majority black, and she always like that. She always wishy-washy on that. So that I can say. I don't think is somebody in this fight that I could trust to stand up for the rule of law in Liberia. I don't think so. She will always wishy-washy.
Okay, so let me hear from you, Councillor. Go very quick. We'll go to Clinton. Mama Bridge is in focus right now because all of our, and I try reaching out to her, I can't get her, but all of our information from our sources, Mama Bridge have assured the majority black she on the side. Councillor,
okay.
Go.
So I guess if that story is true, then it means that they're trying to get the number to reach 49 to remove the speaker legally. That is the point. Once they can get the number, the number 49 to remove the speaker legally, we don't have issue. The speaker position is not the Kofar's inheritance. But I don't want to believe that maybe they join it only because they want quorum. Because as far as we know, they have quorum. That's why we know they have 42. So there's no need to worry about bringing somebody on board because you already have more than the 37, the simple majority. But if she's joining, it means that she's joining to reach the number for the remover to have the surety that when they go back to sit under the gavel of to recognize him as the speaker and lay before him the complaint when he recused himself, they are sure that that number will have him removed. So it's obvious. If he wins the other people from the other side to join his team, all we want to follow the law. That's all. That's our concern.
So let me Clinton help us here. I beg you. Mama Bridge had this issue with the ECOWAS Parliament representation, right? They ran into her and said, we will not respect you, blah, 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 you must calm down, all this thing, snow fart, and the guys will say, no, you're not going anywhere, she remains, right? Mama Bridge, people are saying, listen, she playing game here. Our information is solid on this one. She's supporting Richard Combs and the majority black.
Well,
she met the president. She have assured the president that she will support the majority black. So talk to me.
Well, I just feel sorry for the people, of her district who elected her. That's such, a disappointment for them, to them. I think people like that, like Mama Breeze, if this information is anything to go by, don't have any place in our society. Anyone who's crossing from the minority black and running over after a Supreme Court ruling that has affirmed their position. I mean, what can you see about those kind of people? There's not much to see about them, except that they had no position other than financial and whatever games they're looking for. And, there's no respect here for them. And again, you mentioned something important that, President Bouaka may have personally reached out to these people. I've said from the very beginning, very beginning on this platform that President Bouaka, was the chief strategist behind the removal of Kofi, was the chief financier behind this entire thing. His government is doing everything to remove Kofi. And
okay, so I beg you, let me interrupt you because I want you to add on this trip. We got other information coming up, which is important. So I'm going to start with you on this one. Let's put this guy up here. You know who this is. This is Emmanuel Down. What say you, Clinton?
Again, these people, look, this is, I don't know, what sense can you make out of this thing? You stuck to a side that you believe had all the legitimacy. Now you have an affirmation from the Supreme Court, and then you switch sides. What does that say? This is insanity. What logical person does that? You were there when there was questions of legitimacy, and now you have confirmation of the legitimacy, then you switch sides. It just shows that these people, in the first place, this is the problem with this legislature. This is why you need an audit of our legislature. These people have been breaking the laws over and over. They've openly, and this Minister of Justice, I don't know what happened. We know there was one instance where monies were taken, allegation of bribery and taken to the Ministry of Justice. None of these people have been caught. None of these people have been prosecuted. And I agree with Lafayette. Look, I look forward to a time when the government will come, when all these people will be here to account for undermining the constitution of this country. This is just wrong to have these people in the face of a ruling of the Supreme Court now saying that it's gone. Look, but Senator, let me just close here. I don't care how many people switch. I don't care what quorum they talk about. We are very clear with what the Supreme Court have said. The Supreme Court have said there is no such thing as quorum like Bouaka is talking about working with without a presiding who is a speaker. So this whole thing about getting people because you want a quorum, he's going to work with a quorum. There is no quorum without a speaker. If you don't have a speaker, you can't get a quorum. So it is just the illegal things they are continuing to do, and it's not going to change anything. We are willing, and we, like I said, this is not going to stand. I will be the first person to come on this platform to resign for anything with the opposition if they allow any of this thing to go.
Yeah, but again, before we do that, Kev, this is Romeo, right? Or Romeo Quay. But Romeo Quay actually, when this guy's actually part of the minority black, he was suspended, of course. He's from Sando, he was suspended. The same thing where, the minority black saying that the only loss here is Emmanuel Down. Okay. They say the only loss here is Emmanuel Down. Mama Breach says she's now with NSI, and Romeo Quay, so that only Emmanuel Down. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Mama Breach were not on either side. But Stanton, let's bring this back to the Constitution, right? This is not about numbers game anymore. You need a presiding. You can get 100. I remember what the Chief Justice said. You can get 100. You can get 1,000. So long you don't have the presiding, it's nothing. It's zero. So they can go and get the 73 without Kofa. You can get 72 without Kofa. Who is the speaker, legitimate speaker by the Constitution of Liberia? Stanton, nothing will happen. So I don't think what the Marshal did, the Marshal switched the whole debate to Quorum. And I don't think we should follow that narrative about Quorum. This is not about Quorum anymore. It's about the speaker, the legitimate speaker. So you can have, I'll point this to the lawyers, the two lawyers here, right? This is not about numbers game anymore. So you can get everybody.
Why should I say it's not about let me ask you a question. I don't know why should I say it's not about numbers game, because if they do have solid 49, they can move ahead now just to go in session and remove 49.
Yeah, but
wait. Yeah,
correct. The only way numbers can come in unless you take your resolution on the floor. That's the only time numbers. But so long,
that's what I'm saying.
So long. But what they're doing is they're trying to have a quorum, which the president.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so, Kev. Kev, I beg you wait. Well, I'm not leaving you. Let's just get some understanding here as we welcome Dr. Bopler to the show. Dr. Bopler, welcome, sir. I'm saying to you, Kev, we are seeing people moving parts, moving train here, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just pause for a minute. Councilor Boga said, I want to work with Quorum. Mm-hmm. Quorum is what? 37, right, Councilor? And not 37? 37 out of 73. So, yeah. Liberians are listening to us. You must have 37. To remove, you must have 49. Okay. They are not talking about Quorum anymore. They are going for straight remover. As on Wednesday, they've been signing sheet of paper. They've been signing. As on Wednesday, they've been signing. This morning, or this afternoon, Liberian time, in the morning our time, the people now were able to get at least 50 votes, 50 signature. Now, you can say, well, that's signature, right? It can be anything. But if it is true that the 50 signature will be carried over to say, Fonati, we're ready for you. Come and preside.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, Senator, you're right. The first thing is let it realize that Fonati is the speaker. Don't take your 49 in the chamber. When you remove Fonati with your 49, we will come on the show and say, and if you remove and elect Richard Kuhn, we will come on the show and say Richard Kuhn is the speaker. Until that happens, right? Your 100, your 200 number you get is nothing yet until you take it on the floor.
Oh, okay. Let me bring in Councilor Gould. Councilor Gould, let's try to move in this direction. The news is getting crazy and coming up very fast here, right? From yesterday, not even from yesterday was Saturday, from Friday, when we broke the news about reargument, the majority black got afraid. How we got to know? Yesterday,
People were meeting President Boaca. He was calling them. Tal one day and other people there. The president called them. The president was saying, my man, listen, let's fix this thing. They went to the cleric, the priest. They went to the imam. They went to the Zazan Kabab Temple, the Zo people. They went to them, right? Let's put it in context. They know that something is happening. They must have 49. So to keep argument, even if you get a 37, you get quorum, your quorum is illegal. So I think they have passed that 37, they're going for the kill, which is 49. Am I making a mistake? Now, real quick, Councillor, look at this individual. Mama Bridge Mensa said she's not supporting anybody now. She has reconfirmed her commitment to the majority black. Look at Emmanuel Dan. He's going to the majority black. Look at Romeo Quay. He's going to the majority black. When they asked questions about the majority black the last time, guess what happened? Let's watch the video.
Maureen Johnson, President. Romeo Quay on the President. Julie Weir. President. Ellis Green. President. Sokan Jeremiah. Always present. Deputy Speaker. President. Speaker. President. Sekou Cannon. President. Prince Quinlan. President. Asa Bani. President. President. Neke Gay. President. Dosi. President. Prince To. President. Siafa Boto.
So you are seeing the numbers are not adding up. You are seeing they even reach exact 22. You know that there's a problem here, Councillor. And the problem here is that they must get the 49. Anything else, they're on their own. Talk to me, Councillor Bill.
So maybe there are two things happening here. First, it seems as though the number is declining. And that's why you see when they checked, I think they were around 22 or maybe 23, let's say between 20 to 25. So they need to get the quorum that the president talked about, because he's already said that he can work with the quorum that you have been working with. Then secondly, it's possible that they are wishing to get the 49 to move in to remove the speaker legitimately, legally. That's why you see the person who was calling the roll was not the person who is quote unquote said to be the speaker. He was at the back. And what his name, Thomas Fowler was in the front, leading. According to the speaker, yes, speaker, yes. So why do you see the speaker is present and the deputy speaker is operating? You don't see that happening. So you can see that two things you can see here. And for which I take the second one. I think that and the reason why they may even revert, taking your information to be true, they may even revert to signing new resolution, tells you that they have understood, they do understand the Supreme Court opinion. They know that they have slipped in some of the statements that they made when the Supreme Court came out. The executive also slipped by making comments without being advised that when the Supreme Court rules, you have 3 days window before the court, after 3 days before the court can serve the judgment for implementation, for enforcement. When it spoke, that's why they're now saying, oh, we must get the number to remove this guy. That in the event we file this motion for re-argument and we are not successful, we can have the number now, we will concede and go back to the chamber where we recognize him and we'll put our grievances on the floor and remove him. So that's how I look at it. They are going to the Supreme Court on re-argument, hoping that the Supreme Court can overturn whatever they have ruled in the favor. But in the event, there's a plan B. The plan B here is to respect the ruling that will come from the Supreme Court, because when the Supreme Court rule and affirm and reaffirms its position that it just gave, it means that they have no option because they have submitted themselves to the process, the code that they inserted, they said legal talk, they have only submitted. So they will need now the actual legal, a process to go on which to get the 49. So they are playing a very, a crafty political game. If I were in it, I could play the game, right? I would go straight. But now where they are, they're going back to the court, which is the right to file motion for reargument. The only mistake they made was they talked too soon. So obsessed with power, they started talking and not knowing that they had a window of opportunity to go back to the court for review. Now that they understand that the talk that they have talked has embarrassed them, they're going back to the court. In the event that the court may rule against them, they will have the numbers to then proceed and say, okay, yes, we accept you, you're the speaker, we are here in session, here is our petition, and we want you out. That's what I think they are doing. So it's a game, it's a political game, and that's how the legislature is a game of numbers. I've spent 15 years working over there, so I know. The only thing here is that when the procedures that are laid down by law to be followed, you must follow it. That's all. That's all our concern. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just Clinton next.
Look, I think I think Lafayette have covered a lot of the things I was going to talk about already. I don't care. I don't know what you're going to do. The only option they have is what they don't want to do. They've been refusing to do, which is respect the rule of law. You can get 49. There's nothing wrong. I think the president, he has the press to be able to do it, to call people and kind of coerce them into going on the other side and getting 49 numbers. But the law requires that Kofa is going to be the presiding, and they are going to present whatever grievance to him. He has to recuse himself, and then they can go ahead and remove him. So they are going to come back eventually to what we've been arguing, what we've been saying, which is follow the law, follow the law, follow the law. If that is done, we don't have no qualm. We've not argued that Kofa must be the speaker. There's nothing that said Kofa has to be the speaker. We have said that, look, the laws must be respected. The laws, these are the procedures that the law leader, the Supreme Court has agreed with us, and they just have to do that. If they're able to do it, fine. The thing is, if you have people who are going to be crossing over to continue an illegal process, to continue and say we are going to this whole idea of the president and Quorum, we're just going to cross over and get enough people, and then the president have to deal with that Quorum and not follow the process. That is where the problem is going to be. This is where we are saying this is not going to happen, should not happen, not in a society like Liberia that we're trying to boost our democracy, to push for the respect for the rule of law. If they are able to put a political process that follows the law and remove Kofi Fan, that's what we've said from the very beginning of this entire thing. They've been dragging it. I think what they said, the chicken is coming to roast, so we're waiting to see if that happens. As long as the process is legitimate, we have no issue. What we are saying, there will be no gross violation of the law. There will be no flagrant disrespect to the Supreme Court of Liberia.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. You know what? Information coming in is crazy. Let me bring it down to Bobla. Oh, Mama is here. Mama, how you doing? It's good to see you. Dr. Bobla, we are receiving fresh information. You know what Liberia people say? Fresh information. It means that it's breaking, that new thing. And you know, the fresh fish, that new thing. So, but Dr. Bobla, few representatives met President Boakai. Tawambe, Mama Bridgman said, Romeo Quer, Emmanuel Dan. We can go down the list. The majority of blacks saying right now they're between 47 and 48. The only person that have shifted and is still working with that individual as we speak, if you want to add on manners, they still telling you that they're getting the numbers. And what I just heard, if Funati want to be removed for the second time, we got a number to remove it for the second time. That's what I just heard. Dr. Buble, what do you think happening here?
So CEO, just so you know now, in Liberia, we can generate fresh news anytime. Fresh news always coming, especially in the climate here. Well, let me say this though. Good evening to everybody, all of the fellow panelists and those who watch and listen. A few things. First, disagreement with the opinions of the court, including the High Court, is normal. Disobeying the opinions of the court and the ruling is abnormal. And so we don't want to engage in abnormal behavior because it has adverse consequences on our democracy. And the lawyers that already talk about a re-argument, that's in place. The only place you can re-argue the case is before the Supreme Court, because you don't take the judgment of the Supreme Court and the lower court. So they're doing what they're supposed to do, re-argue. But here's what I want to add here to the conversation, Stanton, that I've not heard in all of the deliberations. This started as a political matter, then a judicial, and then now some people would like to say political again. But these decisions have tremendous economic implications. And so I would encourage all of us, especially those who work for the government, to be measured in your utterances. Things like we're not going to follow the court is not good for the economy. Investors who are looking to invest, they slow down because the environment looks risky. And those who are already in the economy, Stanton, that sardine that was 60 cents, they will charge you 75 cents. Why? Because they are now sensing that this environment can be very risky and don't recoup the investment quickly. So we all need to be measured, especially those who work for the government, in the things we say and follow the rule of law. That is one of the president's major pieces of his arrest agenda. Let's go back, re-argue. And then on the political side, I think I agree that's what the folks in the majority bloc are trying to do, get their numbers together. Look, if you say you got 49-50, then go to the floor, do what you need to do, and proceed legitimately. And I think that would be the best pathway for our country.
But let me ask you this question before we go to Mame. Number one, you guys were often asked the question, why are you going back to the Supreme Court if you think you have won this battle? Why? Number two, will the majority have quorum when they return on May 10th or whenever it may? Number three, exception from quorum, what I'm hearing since this morning, we are not arguing about quorum anymore. We are not. If Fonati won 49, we will get 49 to remove Fonati. Among these three questions and statements, what's your best advice to the majority bloc? One, why are you going to the Supreme Court again for re-argument? Two, will you guys have quorum? But if not, if Fonati won quorum, we're giving 49 to remove him. For example, they sent me this picture. One, they say Mama Bridge have come in our corner. She was on the fence. She met President Bwaka. She have assured the president. Two, we got Roma Kwea from Sano County. Three, we get Emmanuel Down. Four, we get Taiwanwe. The number is increasing. If the number reaches what I know and the information I have for new list, they get but around 50 signature. One of the signature will be men walking in session and saying, yes, we're ready to remove Fonati Kofa. That's question. But what's your good advice for Richard Kwan and his guys?
So I have no advice, but let me tell you my opinion. Here's my opinion, okay? So people on both sides are trying to get what they hope for. In the case of the majority bloc, why do you go back for re-argument? Because that's one option available to you. And if the court rules differently, because the court can, the court evaluates what's before the court. You could bring new information, you could provide more evidence. The court will rule on based on what they get. If that's the case, and they say the second time or the third time around, it's very declarative and definitive that the majority bloc, blah, 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 then they don't have to worry about 49, 51, 53. If that doesn't work, then they go to the political option and say, let's muster the numbers so that we can remove the speaker. So that's why I think they go back for re-argument, because it increases their options of trying to get what they hope to get anyway.
I'm sorry. So yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Boplet. Mame, this thing, whenever we appear on the show, things moving faster, like we think that they are dragging. Negotiation happening. Either side making some gain here. I am sure, because I spoke to 2 lawmakers that said they are leaving the majority black. They're having press conference tomorrow. They will be with Fonati and the minority black. Two. We got 3 leaving. Not even 3, because the other 4 on the fence. The only person that leaving the minority black amount is nobody, Emmanuel Down. You think something adding up here? What's the best option for the majority black, since they are all over trying to get this thing resolved before May 10th?
The best option for me is for the country. For the country, it's not really for majority black or Kofa, Speaker Kofa. The best option is for the country. And that option is to negotiate. For me, that's my best option. But I understand clearly, because from what I know, there have been multiple attempts to negotiate. Ever since this thing started, there have been different forms of negotiation going on. One theory is people are not interested, people are not genuine when they come to the negotiation table, because they see this as a political opportunity to make a government unpopular in their mind. That this is an opportunity we can use. The more we hang on it, the more we make the noise in the country, the more the government gets popular, and saying we are opposition to the government, it plays in our favor. Sorry, somebody was calling me. I had to cancel. So it plays in our favor. So it's a benefit. It calculates it as a benefit to the opposition to keep holding on and going into one negotiation and coming out. Going in and coming out. The more it prolongs, the more it delays, the more it quote unquote plays in their favor. So that's why the negotiation is going on long. So the other people on the other side who negotiating say, look, gentlemen, this negotiation thing will be on it for long. We are suspecting that people are only using this negotiation to prolong the situation. Therefore, let's use an auto-pause approach. Let's use multiple options. Let's go back to the Supreme Court and file for re-argument. And to Councillor, yes, we all disagree with the way the people approach the issue, but they actually mention it in their document. They said they will use the legal option available to them to reverse the decision. It's written like that in their statement. So they knew that there was an option under the law to seek re-argument, because they wrote it in their statement that they will use all legally available and political options to reverse the decision. So they knew that. So they say, let's use this other approach too, which is the legal approach, to go back and seek for re-argument. I am not an ardent believer that this problem can be solved in the court. I don't believe it. But when you read some of the issues they raise as their disagreement, like the Doc said, you can disagree with the opinion, but you cannot disrespect the opinion. If you read some of their disagreements with the opinion, not being a lawyer, you rationalize it. It tends to make sense. But that is the ruling of the court. Fonati is the speaker. So they say, let's use re-argument. Let's be negotiating with Fonati. But let's also be trying to increase our number. So it's a tripartite or auto-pause approach they're using to solve this problem. Negotiation, increase the number, re-argument. But for the sake of the country, I feel that the best approach is to negotiate, because the ruling of the Supreme Court in itself is problematic. Enforceability of the ruling is practically impossible, except you only want to enforce one component and leave the other. But if you want to enforce it, it's practically impossible and difficult to do. The consequences are far-reaching. Therefore, negotiate. That would be my suggestion. For the sake of the country, negotiate. And to Fonati, open your arms and go to the negotiation willingness to negotiate for the sake of the country. Nobody should be talking, say, oh, they say they want to call it money, the other person call it money. Those are trivial issues. Go to the
but so, Mommy, I know, I beg you, Governor, that you come here, but let me just stick with Mommy small. With all the moving parts, no, I think that Kev Hassan coming on, then it will be you, Governor. With all the moving parts here, right? So let's forget about all the laws. And I like when you say they are all trivial issue. It comes down to who now, right now? Calling the priest, calling the elders, calling the zoo, calling the town chief, calling this person. Right now. Fonati is not in a position to say, I want to stay there. But Fonati his argument, let the law be the law. Remove me legally. I preside, bring for the non-individual, I say that. If you don't want me. You buy that argument?
Then that's not
what's the twist to it now?
Yeah, then that one is not a negotiation now, because that's the people third option. The third option is let remove him with the 49 that is according to them for the second time. That is not part of the negotiation. That is the way it's supposed to be done. My suggestion about negotiation is not to go remove him again. My suggestion is not to go to the court again. My suggestion is, brother, there is a Supreme Court ruling. For me, you are the speaker, but you do not have the majority to rule, to lead. So you are a politically impotent speaker that can function. Rachel Kuhn is an illegal speaker that can function. So you have both people who cannot function. So because
can you have election? Can you have election? Can Thomas Father preside and go for election?
That is the third layer of the discussion where the other group from Mediated bring it into the picture. That one, let's keep the discussion for this level here and see how we can get to that third one.
I missed the first level. What's the first level you said? I missed that.
Which? Yeah.
The first level. What's the first level?
The three autopol approach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first level is to go to the Supreme Court and file for re-argument. The second layer is to negotiate with members of the minority black and increase the number to 49 and go and remove him. To Funati say, hey, this is a ruling. This ruling, the practical approach to implementing it is difficult. We cannot move forward like this. You are a legitimate speaker, but you're impotent. This other man is an illegal speaker, but he's impotent equally. Both of you cannot function. Let's find a way where we can step aside and move the country forward. Those are the three options I see. My best option.
One quick question. Does that I know you mentioned the second option that said removal of speaker. Does that mean the 49 going back to Chimbos and Funati presiding as the law requires and removing him?
That's the second option.
But that's what they don't want. That's what the majority don't want that.
As long as you're going to call Funati to preside and have it removed, we have no problem. If Funati must be restored and preside as speaker as the law requires. That's what we're asking.
Okay, let me go to Kev. We'll come to you, Councilor Boo. Let's go to Kev real quick. Kev, the scenario, we get 3 steps down, and Mama calling it the autopause scenario. Let's just agree with that autopause scenario, because the majority of black guys will find a position here now. You don't get your 49, remove Funati Kofa, or you go directly with everything you need to negotiate with him. Why are you going to negotiate? Call and say, Mr. Speaker, we're going to negotiate. I got to take this call. Guys, I got to take this call. Go ahead, Kev.
Take your call. Yeah, so what Sandra was saying, like, 3 options, call him speaker, negotiate with him as speaker, because the Supreme Court rule, and you don't want to disagree with the Supreme Court. Or you go to the Supreme Court for your re-argument, hoping that you can win. The third option is manage and pull some people on your side, get your 49, and make your decision to remove him.
Among your three, the only thing that we should look and take seriously, get your 49 and remove him. Listen, I'm black. To become president in this country, you gotta get 50 plus 1. It's there. If you guys remember, as Eugene Nambi brilliantly posted that on Facebook today, imagine if President we are in the first round and say, okay, I won the first round. That's it. Will you guys be talking now to negotiate? Or will you guys be talking now to say the Constitution say 50 plus 1? If you don't have it, you have to go to second round.
Well, I'm going to give that question to Mami or Dr. Boplet. I pass on that. Mami, you go first. What do you think? I think that's a good question.
But the question is completely different from the scenario we're having here.
No,
These
it's not.
people are saying.
Let Mami finish. Kev, let Mami finish. Let you finish.
These people are saying they have a resolution signed by people reaching the number to remove Fonati. They're not saying they don't have the number. Fonati is arguing that your resolution you're having is not legit. The process you're going through to removing your resolution is not legit. But they are arguing that we have the number. The original number we get on our resolution is sufficient to remove you. In your case, you're saying the number not reached. For Joe, we are doing first round. Fonati, majority of black people say we get a number. We got a number, we get a resolution.
But let me answer your question, Kev. You still get the flow.
So majority of black saying we get a number, everybody sign the notarized resolution, it reach the number, we remove you. Fonati is saying the process you use, even though you get a number on your resolution, but that resolution say I get problem with it. The process you use is not appropriate. Your example with Joe we are, because everything you want to bring Joe we are in is completely different. You acknowledge, yeah, that we are first round, you did not get a number. Majority say we get a number, so that's two different scenarios. Don't put Joe we are inside.
Okay, I'm black. The only place to prove that you get a number is on the floor. Council Go, if you can bear me witness, the only place you can prove to get a number is on the floor. Not saying I get one paper, I get a number. No, mommy, you got to go on the floor. You know better than that, mommy. Show your number on the floor. Show your strength on the floor. Why are they refusing to go on the floor? Simple. They don't have the number. So you cannot say it different. You cannot say it different. This is a numbers game right now. At this moment, everything that goes is unconstitutional. Whether the quorum or the so, you need that number on the floor. So if you say, so mommy, if you say they have the number, let it go on the floor. So the 49 among your 3 steps, the 49 is the only one that makes sense because you cannot negotiate.
So that's the only one you take it off from there.
Yeah, you cannot negotiate. The lawyers are here. You cannot negotiate the Constitution. You cannot negotiate the Constitution. What mommy is saying that we should negotiate the Constitution. How can you negotiate the Constitution? So that's why I brought the President thing in there. If President say, okay, I won the first round. Let's leave it. I'm a president. Can we negotiate that? No. You don't negotiate the Constitution.
Let's bring in Dr. Boplet. And I think I got to say something at Dr. Boplet. Dr. Boplet, we listen to Kev Hassan and we listen to this different scenario that Mami coming up with. But to all of you that listen to us, I want to say what I know. One, there's no interest in this thing for Fonati Kofa again. He doesn't want to be speaker. There's none. Fonati argument is that removing for the non-votes, for the non-members. That's a legitimate argument. But I think that the problem, maybe because of me though, I think that thing will be resolved this week. Tell the problem. I'm hearing two, listen, I ask somebody, please, you don't call the clip and pull it up there. But I think this thing, and thank God to those of you that have been fasting, I can assure you it will be resolved this week by God's grace. If not, early next week. I can assure you.
Amen.
There's a lot of moving parts that we know of. I know people don't want to hear this. I'm not here to give you a Sunday evening message. But I do believe that this thing will be resolved this week because of you, the Liberian people. Amen. The champion in this thing will be crowned. Look at Musa Berete's post. Imagine everybody go on Musa page, go read his post. People are tired. The country got to move forward. Who's suffering? The Liberian people suffering. You think Fonati suffering? No. You think Richard Cruz suffering? No. They got there eating. They're moving around. Tell the people who is suffering. Your poor neighbor that living by you that can't go to school. Your poor neighbor that living by you that don't have no money. We are the ones suffering. I say we because I'm there to reach out to. You there to reach out to. So I believe they play that thing I reach, that thing will be resolved in the next 10 days. It will be resolved at the play. I want to say something here, but I don't want to go there. Yeah, go ahead, Councilor. It's your turn. Then we'll go to that to play. But I think we are making progress here. I can assure the Liberian people with Fonati don't have no desire. He just want to make sure that the law is the law. He got no desire to remain as Speaker for life. I think his position is stronger. And I think the majority black is doing everything also to get this thing resolved. Look at reargument. Look at 49 members. Look at Quorum. Look at the different scenario. I'm tempted to say something, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow. I am tempted to say something, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow.
Sleep over it. Sleep first.
Let me sleep over it. Yeah. Go ahead, Councilor. Go.
Okay, so let me just try to modify Mame's octopus approach. He missed one thing. He tried to confuse it. The first thing here is the motion or the petition for re-argument, hoping that the Supreme Court could reverse whatever and rule in the favor. The next thing is to negotiate with Fonati to resign. Fonati, you won, but resign. Fonati fails to resign, which he's always said that he wouldn't do that. Then the third is to get the 49. To get the 49 or more, to go to Fonati and say, Fonati, here we are. Recuse yourself. We're ready to remove you. That is the octopus approach. For us, all we want is for them to solve the problem in the ambit of the law, respecting the Constitution. If Fonati resigns, it's his choice. It's a choice to resign. The fact that we're even talking about Fonati resigning, and that's why that's the problem that I have with the executive. Let me be frank and I'll be clear. That is the fundamental problem I have with executive. To even be discussing with Fonati to resign, it means that you're still recognizing a speaker. So then why do you have another speaker? Why do you have somebody fanning around the place, considering himself to be speaker? You gave him immunity, you gave him security, and all. When you are talking to somebody to resign a position, so he has not left that position, but you recognize somebody else. That is my fundamental problem with the executive. We talk about how do we proceed. Look, Thomas Father is the only person that's standing strong in this matter. Thomas Father, nobody touches Thomas Father. Thomas Father can work with the minority. You check, you go to the minority now. You talk to the hotel, you say they will accept Thomas Father to be presiding. Even Fonati, I think I've said it before, that he will preside. He turned the gavel over to the deputy speaker, which is Thomas Father. So the issue of quorum around the place, the moment that it reopens, Thomas Father stands in the position to assume the authority, to lead whatever way the negotiation will go, because he's the deputy speaker. His position is not being threatened at all. It is between Fonati Kova and Richard Kuhn. But between Fonati Kova and Richard Kuhn, Fonati Kova is the speaker. So that's the octopus approach that Mami was talking about, which I agree with. 3 ways. One, and Mami first, he said, oh, the people say in the statement, though, when you know that you have an option, you don't talk carelessly. You don't talk, loosely. The discussion, the statement that was issued by members of the majority black, well, loose statement. How can you say, you didn't say you disagree. We disagree with the Supreme Court opinion and we will use the legal option. You said we reject the Supreme Court opinion and we will proceed to do business the way we're doing it. Then you come and say, oh, you're going for a re-argument. That is a contradiction. Now, if you go for a re-argument, do you know where you put your case? You place your case in jeopardy. Because you've already rejected the Supreme Court opinion, you already said a lot of things to them, and even in the petition for re-argument, you put in some threats to them. So if they rule in your favor, what do you expect the people to think? The arm was twisted. If they rule against you, obviously, it means that they are going on what they said. They support what they said. So you don't make statements when you know you have remedy. You don't talk fast, lose talk, drunk with power, obsessed with power. That is the mistake they made. So for me, whatever way they try to use the process, let them just respect the Constitution. Let them respect what comes under the Supreme Court, so our country can remain. That all one. If we're not satisfied with the government in 2029, we remove it. If we're satisfied with the way the government working for 2029, we'll support it.
Councillor, let me jump you with this before bringing Dr. Boblet.
Yeah.
And I think both sides have reached to a place, and maybe Dr. Boblet will know this better, but let me ask Councillor Gu on this one. I think both sides are tired. I do believe they are tired. But it's a decency as to how one may step down, and how one can be gracious. Like I said, my mom issued to say something, but I will not say it now. Till tomorrow.
You're talking. Okay.
You say I will talk, I will not talk.
You're talking.
Now, you see, I didn't put this in the note, the message I was talking.
You were talking. The other day you said somebody was leaving the mansion. They will be leaving. You will not call the person's name. Before the show will end, you call the person's name. So forget it. You will talk.
I'm passing long time. Let me go to Dr. Boblet. Say now. But this is very, very interesting though. Somebody, right? Both sides trying to play hardball because they want that respect. They have presented this thing to Madame Salif to come in as a mediator. Madame Salif now trying to set a balance here. Yes, it was true that Musa Benete met Omar. Yeah, it was true that people are negotiating. Can Madame Salif pull this out? That the Boblet? You think both sides will agree with Madame Salif to say, you know what, let's find a common ground here?
So, Stanton, a few things, okay? I believe that all of these negotiated options should have been explored and taken advantage of at the beginning. I said that at the very beginning of this, let's negotiate. Both sides come together, we can find a way. Everybody was standing their ground and put a stake in the ground. Where we are now, we have to be careful and avoid these extrajudicial, extra procedural path, because we got to think about now and we got to think about later. Already, we have tremendous challenges with the 55th House. Don't make this organization more ungovernable. So what am I saying? I'm saying where we are. The Supreme Court has said what it said. The majority bloc is exercising its legal option for re-argument. And the counselor said it right. They probably should have just, if you know you got legal remedy, don't say anything, because that's the place where matters are decided. Put your stuff together and go back to the court. Don't start making all these utterances. But they have that option. Disagreement with the court, I said already, is normal. You can disagree with the court. Go back to the court, re-argue. And maybe something will happen that will please you. But yes, the main reason, Stanton, I think they're going back to the court. Everybody in the majority bloc, I would think, understands full well that vote on the floor is a political matter. I can tell you I will vote for you, and when the time comes, I may not vote for you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to me because we both were elected, will serve our term. Some people don't want to take that risk. So if they can find another pathway, they'll go for it. So they'll explore option one, go for re-argument, then option two, come to the floor. I really think at this point, we should let the process work. If you want to move the speaker, come to the floor. He recuses himself, you vote, and you remove him. Let's maintain the process so that tomorrow is not more difficult to manage the House. And I will just footnote here that this House has a lot of redeeming to do. So once we get this settled, there has to be some new rules that hold the members of the House accountable. There's just too many unethical, unruly behavior that is unbecoming of the first branch of government. But that's part two. Part one, let's solve the speakership.
Oh, okay, you consider part one and part two. Mohammed, do you think these members will go for re-argument? You think the Supreme Court will even accept the re-argument and bring it forward?
I read portion of the argument they're making. Maybe the lawyer is here, he can help. And I know the Chief Justice, I responded to her. She said, when you're not a lawyer, don't talk. Disagree with that. Some of the rulings you come up with, we read it. It's clear, simple English. We can explain it and talk about it. You're not ruling in French, you're ruling in English. We can read it simple. You're not coming up with any type of novel argument. All the arguments are just clear. So we can speak to those rulings when they are out. We can speak to the argument the people making. For example, the Supreme Court says if the speaker is available and ready to preside, anything that is done without him already presiding is illegal and unconstitutional. I am concerned about that. We go to the Senate. The presiding officer of the Senate is the vice president. He is the presiding officer of the Senate. If the presiding officer of the Senate is not available, he doesn't go to work today. The practice in the Senate, they don't sit and wait for him. If the vice president doesn't go, who is the presiding officer? If he doesn't go to the Senate, don't sit and wait for him. They move into session, they pro tem presides, and they make decision. So the argument is, if Jeremiah Kun, who is the vice president and the presiding officer of the Senate,
Mame, both sides get different rule now.
No, but I come in now, both sides
get different rule.
Both sides get different rule, but the Supreme Court now rule and says, once the presiding officer is not there, any decision made is illegal. I have that one as one of my
No, I think you're wrong. I want you to say in this context, if the presiding officer is available and present, you cannot have a presiding. If the speaker is available and present, you cannot have a presiding officer.
Okay, step on now. Now, that's the second layer of the argument. How can a member of a House of Representatives be present? It is not by being present in the building. It is not by being present in the country. To be present in the legislature, you must answer to your name present.
So let me ask you a question. No. I'll hold you there. I will not let you come. I will not let you reach. Let me hold you right there.
No, you gotta let me come.
I'll let you reach on the wall.
Let me hang here. I gotta come.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So you have to go and answer present to be present. You have to be there to be present. You can't just be around and be present. For you to be present, to even answer your name present, there has to be a sergeant at arms that cry the legislature or the House to order. That one has to happen. There has to be a chief clerk.
So, Mama, we agree with you. But take our question now. I beg you. No. I beg you cancel the book. I agree with Mame. When the thing started, where was Funati?
Funati was absent.
Where? Absent like what?
He was all over the country.
Funati was all over the country, right?
Yes.
That day, were there any election? Did they have any election taken that day? Did they vote?
The attempt to have they didn't do anything. The attempt was aborted.
Yeah. When the election was held, that made Richard Kun speaker. Where was Funati?
Funati was in the country.
Okay. So being that Funati was in the country,
Who should have presided then?
Fonati needed to have gone and answer present to his name.
No, answer present where?
To the chamber.
No, but why
I beg you, Councillor Clinton, wait. To which chamber? Councillor Clinton, wait. To which chamber?
Come again?
Which chamber?
To the chamber the legislature was sitting in.
Which one? The big one or the small one?
The legislature got one chamber.
Yeah.
The big one was already a center of confusion.
Yeah.
The big one that they wanted to go in, people when they lock the door, they block it, was a center of confusion. So they moved to another one.
Another one
argument
where?
was
Another one where?
In the same
where?
building.
Call the place name, the
In
location.
The
okay. So let me say something to you. Let me hold you right there. I'm gonna start this thing. If we gotta pay for that, let everybody pay for that. Let's try to solve this thing. Wait, Mama, let me finish. You like your turn now, but I beg you. Okay. You see, that's why I can make people angry here. If we have to beg for that tea and say, let's find a solution to this thing, call Richard Kuhn and say, let's find it, let us do it. But we cannot sit here and say because Fonati was in her office and you guys went for an election, it means that Fonati were absent. I disagree with you.
Stanton, you just want to redo the Supreme Court. I'm saying here, you don't want to ask me, you don't want the Supreme Court rule already, all the argument we're making here, when we made an argument to the Supreme Court. The court said your argument now makes sense to us. Therefore, Fonati is the speaker. That's the court ruling. I do not oppose that ruling. I might have my disagreement, which is part of what the majority of blacks say they have, and they're going for re-argument. Until that re-argument can be heard and the Supreme Court have a different opinion, Fonati, as per the Supreme Court ruling, is the speaker. That's not my argument. But you don't want to say, you think they will go for re-argument. What are the arguments? So I'm outlaying the argument that I see in the people bill, in the people re-argument petition that is submitted to the Supreme Court. That if you say the speaker must preside before any decision can be made, suppose the speaker is in the house, in his office, and decide not to go to session.
But there are procedures when the speaker is not presiding, he gives instructions to his deputy. There are procedures. Those procedures were not followed. That's the issue. It's not somebody just sitting in the office here.
Let me progress. I want us to just do this.
Let the councillor interject here.
Wait, before the councillor, go ahead real quick. Go back to Kev Dr. Poplar because we have to.
On the Senate issue too, councillor.
Yeah, thank you. So here's the case, right? You know, the thing about this case, Stanton and fellow panelists, is that when Fonati came back to the country, the Supreme Court was speaking in context. Because Article 33 says the House shall meet, and when they cannot get the quorum, the minority shall adjourn. You remember that when the majority members moved to the joint chamber, Fonati, Kofa, and Thomas' father were presiding in the chambers of the legislature, the regular chamber. I think they presided for, 2 sessions. When the majority wrote a communication telling Thomas' father to move and go to preside, it was when he flipped. Now, does that legitimize the group by him flipping? That is the issue. You can also look at Mambe, because he was in a session with the speaker, and when he flipped, the speaker went to a session, and when he could not get quorum, he adjourned as per the end of Article 33.
No, that one. No,
so you can look at
that way. I disagree with you, small. I want for you to clarify, council. Let me clarify the one, council. I'm not disagreeing. Clarify this one.
Yeah.
You cannot adjourn a session that is not called. For a session to be called, there has to be a sergeant at arms, there has to be a chaplain, there has to be a chief clerk, all of which were elected. If you cannot call a session, you cannot adjourn a session.
So you come to the point, right? The issue of the sergeant at arms and chief clerk or so, those are not constitutional issues. When the chief clerk is not present, it's the deputy chief clerk. When the deputy chief clerk is not present, it's the senior stenographer. If he or she is not present, it's the junior. If he or she is not present, it's the closing clerk. If he or she is not present, it's the eroding clerk and going down. I worked there for 15 years, so I know the order. When none of them are present, you can call, the legislature can call any staff from the central administration to call the session to order. In the sergeant-at-arms office, they have the sergeant-at-arms, the deputy, they have the doorman. Any one of them can call the session to order. I don't want to be specific as to who were present when they call the session to order. Calling session to order is not an issue. The issue here is Funadi Kofa and the minority move into the into the regular session where the deputy speaker was with him. For 2 sessions they held, they adjourned.
Okay,
the next day he flipped.
We got 10 more minutes. Sorry to interrupt you, but let's move on. I do believe that it will be a very interesting week. Okay, this week that the Bople Kev Hassan, let me come to you. It will be a very interesting week this week. A lot of moving parts here, right? The meeting with Madam Salif, we're going to see exactly what you're going to achieve. Folks are talking to ECOWAS head of state to come and sit down with President Dwaka, former President Madam Salif, and that of George Manawia. The issue to say that people are asking for money, there's no money in play yet. We can announce that and categorically say that's fake information. Nobody asking for money yet. It's just that people want to exit with proud that yes, indeed, these things will not happen again. So what's the position of Richard Quorum, all right, of the majority black? What's the position of Funati Kofa of the minority black? Who's in, who's out? Will these, gentlemen, come up with the numbers to do the work, 37, to have quorum of 49? Okay, that's the question on the floor, Kev Hassan. A lot of moving parts. What do you think going to happen in the next 10 days, Kev?
In the next 10 days, for what we having and where some of us are privileged to, if they get the 49, they can go on the floor because that's the only way out. I don't think Fanati will resign Richard Kuhn will be speaker. That I can confirm on this and on the show. Fanati will resign if there's a new election, period. End of story. But let me go back to what Mami talked about the Senate. The Supreme Court make that clear. They made that clear. I don't know why maybe he keep going back. Everything that happened in the Senate, it happened by coordination. They use the word coordination. If the vice president coming in, it will be a communication to the pro temp. The vice president will going to be coming in, and she understand that, and she will leave and come and sit and to her seat, right? The vice president will not just barge in and say, "Oh, okay, I'm here." So everything, we're not running a gangster paradise here. Because when I got from Mommy, it's like, okay, and if the speaker is not there, I can just go. It must be a coordination. It must be communication. They must talk because that's what they work together. And whenever the speaker is leaving, the speaker will write the floor and tell them, I will be out for X, Y, and Z. The speaker never leave without sending a communication on the floor. It don't work that way. So when the speaker were going to Italy, we all knew the speaker were going to Italy. There was a communication on the floor, right? And the speaker came back. There was no session. The speaker came back. The speaker were in Liberia when the election. Stanton, lastly, with the asked Vani Shemin, with the Chief Justice asked Vani Shemin, where was the speaker? And Vani Shemin all heard it. Vani Shemin said in his office. So what I mean, the speaker was in Liberia. So no way that where his name should preside.
Okay, so
because the majority black lawyer answered that question. He answered. He said speaker was in office. He didn't say the speaker was abroad. No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We got 25 more minutes left to go in this show, and I really want to take some calls today. The word of government that Clinton, Dr. Bopler, will walk our way back again to Councillor Gu and Mami. Clinton, for me, I can say this to all those folks that are watching us. I'm in a position to say what I know. Yes, indeed, you will have lawmakers going to Funati Camp, lawmaker coming from Funati Camp going to Richard Camp. It's happening. We can announce them. It's happening. Funati making gain, the majority black, still stealing some people from his camp. Would you expect the 10 days? The re-argument, right? The 49 members coming to remove Funati, or having quorum. Position the Labyrinth people for what they should expect in 10 days now, starting today. A lot of stuff, the Madam Salif involvement here, the letter that from Musa Ability to his guys on Facebook posting and said these are our recommendations. The chief and elders coming to meet Funati, the group that meeting secretly and publicly. I'm not going to accuse anybody for taking money because we're long past that. But what's your mindset here right now? That this thing, I do believe, and I will 100% say this thing will be resolved in 10 days. And I will say my own on the show before it finishes. I know where I'm coming from, but what say you, Councillor Clinton?
Look, I've been one of the first people on this platform defending respect for the rule of law and commending Speaker Kofi for standing his ground. And it is his right to decide whether or not he wants to resign. But I will be disappointed if he does resign without the constitutional process being followed, because it will be a disappointment to many of us across this country, across the world, who has been advocating, who has been defending, who has been pushing for adherence to the rule of law. So it's his prerogative if he decides that, and I agree, and I think many people agreed in the face of the Supreme Court ruling, is, I have said that there are things that the executive can do, there are legal issues that they can execute, but there are also the political questions that have to be addressed, including lobbying with members of the House. So I'm not against any kind of negotiations going, for a resolution of this conflict. What I am against is any attempt by any one group of people to bypass the process, to bypass and put together any plan. This is not, Liberia is not in a crisis situation. We are not in a war. We are not from a war situation where we had to cancel the 10-year residency requirement because of war. We are not in that kind of situation where people are going to call ECOWAS and sit down and say, let's have a negotiation now that, turn the rule of law on its head. Any negotiation, any a resolution of this thing must first begin with recognizing there is a decision from the Supreme Court, the highest arbiter of justice in our country, that states Funati Kofi remains the speaker. And there has to be a process that restores him, restores his privilege, his immunity, his dignity, and he has to preside over any process that is going to lead to a new negotiation. Anything short of that is an affront to the many Liberians across the world who's been pushing for adherence to the constitutional mandate of our country. So I'm hoping that this is the path, this is the trend that is going to take as far as negotiation. Again, if the other side is able to galvanize the numbers to remove him, if he doesn't want to resign, it is absolutely in the right to do that. That's the political process. But they must do that in accordance with the rule of law. They must come to Kofi. He must resign. They must ask him to recuse himself, and they must follow the processes that are laid down in the laws.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Bobla. Then let's go in this cycle, Dr. Bobla. It is concerning information reaching out. More negotiation is happening. Nobody want to go down on the opening of the section, in May. That we see, well, the majority black don't have quorum. Funati, 49 members not there to remove him. Fonati himself, he doesn't have quorum, but yet and still all this thing and the political party coming together, attacking each other, saying words of chaos and conflict. Dr. Bobler, I'm sensing something that we are getting there. But in the midst of peace, you get ready for that storm. I mean, talk to us.
Again, I would caution all of us, especially those in government, political parties, and the lawmakers themselves, to be measured in the comments they make, because more than just political comments, they actually have economic implications. And don't forget, the biggest victims in all of this are we, the people, the ordinary Mayonawe and Mapu, whose business have not been done for the longest time by the people they elected to go and do their business. And those people stand, I like to keep things in context. Those people are well paid elected officers, and the people they represent are very poor, most of them. And yet, they couldn't find a negotiated solution early on. Now that the High Court has ruled, I think we need to be careful with this now flurry of negotiated outcomes. Let the process work. Go back to the High Court and re-argue the matter. And if it doesn't fall your way, come on the floor of in the chambers and do what's needed and move the speaker and move forward. You would have done multiple things that are good for our democracy. One, you would have respected the rule of law. Two, you would have respected due process. And three, you would have spoken into the future that when we have conflicts and it's difficult, we'll revert to processes so that we're not all over the place and that everybody coming tomorrow can introduce their own remedy. I think that's the path forward. All the people who can negotiate, you should have come early. Stay home and pray, let the process work.
Okay, so we can announce that tomorrow we'll be having DJ Blue on the show. DJ Blue have flipped. He went on the side of Fonati Kofa, leaving the majority black, and DJ Blue will appear here on Spoon tomorrow. He'll be with the Spoon Talk team in studio to discuss the reason why he flipped. We're going to put DJ Blue document out, the reason why citizen of the Electoral District 17. He is the representative of District 17. We're going to put the statement up. But we can announce that DJ Blue, Representative DJ Blue from District 17, will be our guest on Spoon Talk tomorrow. Let's come to you. Things are changing. Mama Bush-Mensa was on the fence. She's supporting majority black. Emmanuel Dan. Fonati have lost Emmanuel Dan because he shifted now. Let's talk about Romeo Quay. He was on the fence. He got suspended. Now he's going to the majority black. Tai Wanway met Jose Yemabwaka. His decision is pending. Some people say he will be supporting the majority black. Other people are saying no, he will not. Austin Taylor came on and said, my people are staying with the rule of law. They are confirming that Austin Taylor will go to Fonati Kofa. We can go down the list. People are acting a kangaroo here and there, grasshopper, jumping from place to place. So we do have grasshopper politician, grasshopper or representative. But wherever the case may be, I am not on that side. Councilor Gould, I'm coming from a different place. That in 10 days, with all these different moving parts, this thing will be resolved. I really want to say what I have to say tonight, but people say, no, wait for the ball. I really want to say it because it's not about who leaving who. It's not about who jumping from one camp to another camp. We passed that. Yes, indeed. Richard Kun will have his people. Richard Kun, the question is, can Richard Kun get 49 members? Since 7 months ago, the answer been no. So I passed that, right? I also passed the fact that Fonati will have the members, right? Maybe Fonati will try, but can he get there? That's the question. But where I'm coming from, wise men and women that have love for country, we come to the place and say enough is enough. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a position where CDC people saying, no, we're not taking that your business. Unity Party people saying, no, we're not taking that your business. Wise men and women, they have come to their senses and say enough is enough. We will do this for country. Everybody have won. in this fight. What are you thinking here, Counselor? Because I know who I'm talking to. I've read and understand what's going on, but people have decided we got to do this for country. How long should the people suffer? How long should the people be in poverty and cry? Forget about Thomas Farah. Forget about Richard Coon. It's beyond there now. It's about country. And our voice of reasoning is to go into the ear of Fanati Kofa, is to go into the ear of Richard Coon and say, guys, this country got to move on. So what I'm hearing, I'm encouraged. But let me hear you. I know you want me to say what I know, but I will keep it for the ball. Let me hear you. You will not get me into this one. You and Clinton, you look at me with legal eyes. Let me hear.
No, so stand on what we I think discussing now is more political than legal, right? Especially where we go. We spoke on the legal side already. We told you where we stand. We told you who we have issues with. We raised all of the legal issues. And we believe that in solving the problem, you must have an element of legality. That's the only way we who have been pushing for the rule of law will be satisfied that the rule of law will take precedence. If anything outside of that, it means there's no need for us to be stretching our vein, even though we will continue to stretch our vein because we believe in the rule of law. But where it is now, they can negotiate. Like I still go with the octopus. That octopus is the exact thing that's happening. And the guys filed the motion for re-argument specifically to delay. Because they know by filing the motion for re-argument, the Supreme Court will not issue the order to enforce its judgment. They will have to go and hear the matter. So they will still be having control over the machinery, and they can do whatever they want to do to solidify the position. That's one reason they filed the motion for re-argument. It may not be heard as soon as possible. The second reason is political reason that myself have been hearing is the Chief Justice will soon be leaving in June. So once the Chief Justice leaves in June, obviously they can delay. How long did they take to hear the bit of information? Almost how many months? Since I think December, they had a bit of information in April. And the rule in April. How many months? So the motion for re-argument, don't think that it could be here anytime soon. They could delay it as well until the Chief Justice even leaves office. And there's a whole ball game going on. And once the motion for re-argument, the motion for re-argument stands almost like a stay order on the enforcement of the judgment of the Supreme Court. So that's the legal, political, and the mixed game being played. However, whatever you heard at the back that the matter could be solved between now and 10 days time, will be satisfied were it to have all, at least the legal flavor that will show some respect for the rule of law. If Fonati resigns, good, then they got a shot. But one thing is that they must revert to election. It's clear. The fact that Fonati is considered the speaker or whatever, it's clear that they have to go back to conduct the election. So the person who's going to lose in the whole process is a person who feels so embarrassed that Representative Kuhn. Because to be passing around the place as speaker, bodyguard, everything, car, you go in launching project, you go into JFK, you say you put 20 million in the budget, you go into Bannerfield Estate, you change the whole football field, and then at the end of the day, the moving from there, it's not easy to accept. That is the issue. So whatever way to solve it, we just wanted to be in the ambit of the law. That's all. Whoever is speaker, we go with the person. You think I was satisfied? Like I said the other day, just for close. Some of us were not satisfied with Baba Jima the way he was elected. Some of the way he was speaker, the way he was conducting himself, but he was speaker of the republic. What else could we have done? We gotta respect him. So everybody will satisfied, but once you follow the legal process.
We got 11 more minutes to go, folks. Let's show you today part of the show feeling 10:30 in my bro. We got 11 more. Yes, sir.
Stand up real quick. So I agree with the counselor. and this matter could drag out. I would think, though, that given the magnitude and the implication, that the High Court will consider quickly the re-argument and dispose of this matter. I will hope so. But you're absolutely right. The court can do what the court decides. They could delay, but at this point, I think a delay would just hurt the national cause. I think a speedy adjudication of the matter and put it to rest will be the way to go. So we'll see.
Again, before we go to Mama, thank you, Dr. Bopla. Let me bring this real quick. This is DJ Blue. You know what will mess with DJ 1212. When he ran in Moserati for the senatorial seat, he got in the 1212. So DJ Blue now, he's a representative in district number 7. When you talk about all the way to the end of the breach there. DJ Blue right now, he's saying to everyone, listen, let's read. Citizen Electoral District 17, ladies and gentlemen. Article 66 of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia states, and I quote in part, the Supreme Court shall be the final arbiter of constitutional issues and shall exercise final appellate jurisdiction in all cases. On January 15, 2024, I made a vow before God to abide, uphold, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. With the April 23, 2025 ruling of the Supreme Court, and in keeping with my vow to God, I will sit under the gavel of Speaker Jonathan Funati Kofa when the session of the 55th National Legislature reconvenes per the mandate of the Supreme Court. On January 15, 2024, let's go. We as lawmakers took a vow to uphold and protect the Constitution, so I encourage my colleagues to join me in respecting the Supreme Court's decision with regard to Article 66 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. May God bless us all. Okay, so DJ Blue will be one of our guests scheduled for tomorrow in studio to get more information from DJ Blue. So we can announce that Funati Kofa got +1. We can announce that. I'm also hearing, Dama remove these things. The next person, Austin Taylor, I'm hearing with maybe 80% that Austin Taylor too is moving towards Funati Kofa camp. I'm also hearing. But now it's like a give and take, cherry picking here and there. If we do agree that Funati now going to have DJ Blue and Austin Taylor, look at what Eugene Colette put out there also. You also agree that Funati Kofa are going to get 2 or 3 more additional individuals. Now, folks are leaving Funati too. 1, we can say the individual that left Funati, 1 is Emmanuel Dam, district number 7. He served as chair on executive on Funati, if I'm correct. He's leaving. He's going to the majority black. It is confirmed, right? He's leaving. Folks that were on the fence, Mama Bridge Mensa, she met the president. She's leaving. We can also announce to you, Tai Wongbe met the president, but we cannot confirm whether Tai Wongbe going to leave the camp of Funati Kofa, but he met the president, and he was asked to join the majority black. We can also confirm whatever position you will put Romeo Kwe in. Romeo Kwe going to the majority black right now from Sano County. So as much as the majority black getting some momentum, they're gaining people over, Funati taking in drip, 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 drip. Would there be any quorum? Well, I'll go to you, you come to me. Instead, you got to just swap and swap and they call him explosive and imexplosive. I take 2 from you, you take 3 from me. I go back for 1, you give me 1. All kind of social game going on. Yeah. Would there be quorum? For me, Mame, I say no. Would they come out of 49 members to remove Funati, or 49 members to remove Rachel Cohen, who people call illegal speaker? For me, I say no. So where do I stand? I stand on that negotiation. I stand with the negotiation. I stand that Funati and Rachel Cohen and all the high-head people, they have now resolved that, listen, enough is enough. And I will say my piece on this tomorrow. Somebody will throw in the towel. Somebody negotiation will come to a place that, yes, indeed, let's do it for country. Whether there will be election for new speaker, whether somebody will just walk away I know what I'm saying, but these 10 days will be very interesting, and I believe that the Liberian people will be satisfied with any decision that will come forward because people are tired. Mommy.
I will start with the moving and shaking. I will come to what the implication of the call for retrial means, and then I will come to conclude on your same point about why I say political negotiation is my best option for the moment. All the moving and shaking, I want to give a scenario. It tells you there is something fundamentally, and all the time we on the show, one person who always highlights is that the Brooklyn. Who's suffering all this? The ordinary people. What are they seeing? If I told my wife, I don't love you, the love for you gone. I don't like you. The love for you is gone. My heart not on you again. I no longer love you because you hurt my heart. Maybe when you caught your wife with another man, so you very say, I don't want you again. That love gone. Then you go in the divorce process. Maybe you made mistake. Then the judge say, no, the way you do the divorce is not correct. The ideal situation is, okay, send the way I did the divorce situation is not correct. I still not love my wife. I will go back and make it right. But as soon as they say the process you go through, I say, oh, okay, I let my way again. That is the situation you see happening. That's why I'm getting confused with the people. You say you don't want this speaker because of fundamental issues that you raise. And on that basis, you decide, you say, you lose my confidence. You don't have my trust because of fundamental issues. You initiated a process, the court said, no, that process you went through is not okay. As soon as the court said the process, okay, all the problem I'm having with you now, you're okay, you're fine, you're my friend again. It tells you something is happening beyond what we are looking at. If I were anybody who make a case and say, this speaker, I lost confidence and trust in you. If I went through a process and did the process, I say, okay, I will come back and correct the process. I still do not have confidence and trust in you. That is the ideal situation. But all the jumping, let's see how it goes. The implication of the call for rehearing or retrial or re-argument. Technically, like he said, like the lawyer said, it's like a place stay order. Like in the House of Representatives, you pass a law, they say motion of reconsideration. Once that motion of reconsideration is not heard, that law is not passed. In the court, like the counsel said, and when he said it, I talked about the implication. The fact that they have filed a motion for rehearing, re-argument of the case, meaning they've gone back to their original position. That first ruling that Funati is the speaker is on pause. Right, counsel? That first ruling is on pause based on the argument for rehearing. So technically, Rachel Kuhn and his team are back. Funati and his team back on the other side, and we'll be waiting to hear from the Supreme Court in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or whatever, how long it will go. Hopefully, they can do it soon. Who is the speaker as per the new argument? Currently, everything gone back to the same place we were at in December. The ruling of Funati Kofa as the speaker is on pause because of the request for new hearing. That is the implication of that request. It is a legal strategy that brings us back to the original argument and position we were in December. Why I believe negotiation? I said this and I will say it here again. I will use the Supreme Court as an example on why it makes the implementation of the full ruling difficult. Stanton, you know the deharmonization. Since the deharmonization and reduce the Supreme Court member's salary 4 or 5 years under George Weah, they tried to get their salary back through the budget. They were unsuccessful. The first time they attempted, it canceled. They did not be that attempt again. For 4 years under Weah. The 1 year under Funati, they did not get their salary back to pre-harmonization level. As soon as Rachel School became speaker, even after the rule in December, that Rachel Kuhn setting was ultra varies. In January, the same Supreme Court went to Rachel Kuhn. After the rule in December that Rachel Kuhn was ultra varies, in January, they went to Rachel Kuhn, presented their budget to Rachel Kuhn, lobbied with Rachel Kuhn, and Rachel Kuhn approved their budget that increased their salary back to harmonization, to pre-harmonization salary. They see Supreme Court. They went to Rachel Kuhn, lobbied with Rachel Kuhn. Rachel Kuhn approved their budget, increasing their salary, taking it back to the time we never had harmonization. Today you come now, that budget that Rachel Kuhn passed, that increase your salary, you say it is illegal. We arguing that if you say it is illegal, then going forward, we're talking about the one you take from January, February, March. Going forward, you cannot take that salary because the law that make that salary for you, according to your ruling, it is illegal. But also, that same law makes salary increment for military people. It makes salary increment for police. It makes salary increment for health workers. If you say that law that makes salary increment for all these people is an illegal law, then going forward, these people will not receive the increment in their salary. That's part of the reason why the law is complicated beyond just Fonati and why the need for strong negotiation to go on. The Supreme Court judges are not willing to cancel that eating of their salary because they've been fighting for it for 4 years. They could not get it on any of the speakers. They could not get it on a buffer chamber. They could not get it on a Fonati. They used Rachel Kuhn to get it.
They use Rachel Kuhn? They use Rachel Kuhn?
Oh, yeah, they lobbied with Rachel Kuhn for Rachel Kuhn to approve it. They lobbied with him. After they declaring ultra varies in December, January, they went to him, they lobbied with him, and he approved it.
So let me ask you a question, Mambe, right? At the end of this whole saga, everything that have destroyed the country, everything that burned the Capitol building, everything that have put the government into the today, at the end, do you still see Rachel Kuhn to be speaker?
The Supreme Court rule, Rachel Kuhn is not the speaker, Funati is the speaker. That's why we're going for negotiation.
I understand. At the
but
end,
in the middle of that now, there's a
yeah.
case for retrial that brings us back to status quo.
So I'm asking you the question. When this is all over, will Rachel Kuhn still be speaker?
Depending on the Supreme Court ruling. When the Supreme Court rule first, before the retrial, I was one of the first questions I say, I reckon now Funati as the speaker.
Do you think that if Rachel Kuhn go for election, will he be successful? Remain as speaker.
Yeah, 30 minutes they can shift from this side, 30 minutes they shift from on this side. I put you can't put your on having both for. I beg you, yeah.
Wait, guys, let's go to Clinton. Clinton, let's just take 1 minute off.
Man, you know, man, talking about I want you to tell you somebody.
They put Johnson, I don't want you can't put your name on having both for. I beg you, yeah.
When the press is right, everybody go for the highest press. But what you say, Clinton? Because I'm hearing that this thing must be resolved in 10 days, will be resolved in 10 days, no matter what it takes. And I'm hearing a lot of stuff, and you know, a lot of things going through the wire here. Liberian people, some of them gaining hope, gaining momentum. That people are being measured right now. Negotiation is still taking place. I can tell you. The religious group are getting involved. The tribal group are getting involved. They are begging. They are pleading. They say, listen, we got to get this country on track. Regardless of President Bwaka is negotiating in the back, but you got to come up with the numbers. The numbers not there. Then what? Or in the negotiation, former President, Madam Salif, she's heading that negotiation. In the negotiation, George Weah is involved. So people are getting serious now. Will Rachel Kuhn remain speaker? When the people say, oh, it is all said and done, will Funati put a hand up and say, thank God we have reached a place and we have come down with some understanding? Will Funati take this group to an election? These are the different questions and the different moving parts people are trying to wrestle with. Will Funati take this group to election? Will he preside? And again, while he presides, he said, listen, guys, I recuse myself. Let's go for election. Do you think this will work?
Well, that's how it should work, and I think with the level of engagement we're seeing from the opposition political parties.
Stand on. Why you need Clinton, please? I mean, give us some understanding on the implication of that motion for rehearing. If you can.
Well, I let Councilor go. He practiced in the Supreme Court of Liberia, so he's very perfectly placed to deal with that. But to address Stanton's question, look, this is what should happen. Any negotiation should follow the law. It should mean Fonati. Look, Fonati has been hinting for a long time that he's no more interested in this thing. It is the government. It is the government that has been the one who's been stalling this thing, who's been backing the others, the majority side, and who's been flaunting, and this will be in the rule of law. So the sticking point for any negotiation that is happening now is not going to be for 90, it's not going to be the minority black, it's going to be the government. Because we are saying, and a lot of people agree now, that the government must abide by the Supreme Court of Liberia's ruling. The government, look, when this ruling came out, you can see from all the folks from the government, senior levels of the government, senior advisor, very close and confidential advisors to President Bwaka, who was attacking the Supreme Court. These were the very same people, mind you, who were saying that the president cannot get involved. There should be a separation of power. We don't expect the president to get involved. The president has nothing to do with Richard Coon's proposed speakership. But yeah, the Supreme Court passed a ruling. These are the same people that started to attack the Supreme Court right away. They started to attack the Supreme Court. So it tells you that there is something there. Now this president negotiating. The sticking point will be whether this president and this government is willing to accept Fonati Kofa to preside. Right? I spoke to some of these guys, and they are not willing to accept Coon. And some of us are not willing to reverse court and say, okay, now Kofa preside and let's move forward. And I think that's going to be the most sticking point of the negotiation. Once they can get past that, this thing is going to go and it's going to go really fast. That's the only thing. It's just the government saying, Mr. Speaker, we recognize you as you are the Speaker as per the Supreme Court ruling. Please preside and lead us to new elections. The fact that they are not willing to do that, this is where dragging this entire thing. So it is on the government. It is on the government and their majority black people. Once they can get past that, the negotiations are going to go faster. And this thing, like I've said, Kofa has hinted in maybe 2-3 different posts that he's done. It's them. It's all on them.
Council, you want to talk on the implication?
Yeah, well, after that's not a problem.
So Stanton, we keep the issues. Look. I've said really what I really want to say, which is at this point, let the process work. I think the legitimacy of those who are seeking position, or even those who have it, can be resolved at this point. And my only prayer is that the High Court will respond quickly. Again, I agree that the High Court has the prerogative. They can hear you, or they cannot hear you, or they can just let your case sit on the docket. And Google was right. If it gets to the changing of the Chief Justice, that would be a whole different situation, because that gap could just delay things even more as they figure out a replacement. But I will pray that for the sake of the nation and us, the poor people, which these lawmakers represent and having done their work for a long time, that will resolve this matter and move forward. So that's my hope. You say 10 days. I hope it can be resolved quickly, but I will be very careful with extrajudicial processes that makes it difficult to govern in the future, because people feel like they can do things outside of the rule of law. I think let's just follow the rule of law at this point and see where it takes us.
So I just want to say at the end of the day, I think where we are while we close this show, I want to say to all, you can join us tomorrow. We have DJ Blue. Well, what does it? Sorry that Councilor Goulet. I'm hearing the thing about boxing bomb, that boss your bomb from the house. I'm hearing that Austin Taylor is bossing bomb. What does that mean? Bossing bomb. Guys, Let me ask you a question, Mami. These guys that are moving, can it be like DJ Blue to come up and say, I don't want to be in the Funati camp, or I don't want to be in the Richard Coon camp? Can they be straight up? You think you why we're not saying that? Because I'm hearing that Austin Taylor is busting bomb. That's what I'm hearing, which is to say it just flash. Austin Taylor, he doesn't mean it. He's not going to, Funati camp. He just busting bomb.
Busting bomb.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah, Councilor B.
Somebody just said to me, right, and this from somebody that right there, our sources, say Austin Taylor just busting bomb. And I said, what do you mean by busting bomb? I mean, you were in the house before, Councilor. Can you help us? What do you mean by busting bomb when they use these, terms in the house? They say it's just a flash or he frozen.
He frozen. But Stanton, you saw different movements. Some people were with Funati, they say Funati, we can move from behind Funati, and they stuck there, they play the people sitting is illegal. After some time, they moved there. After some time, they say, okay, they stay there from there, they move and came back to Funati. People have moved like 2-3 different times. All they moving, they're doing. At the end of the day, country, the progress is not moving at the pace at which it's supposed to be moving. Now that progress is not happening, but it's not happening at the pace at which it's supposed to be happening, or we expect it to be happening. So, moving, you will see a lot of movements, especially so that the people went and filed a motion for re-argument that create room for renegotiation, that create room for additional conversation. You see movement. But to conclude, let all those movements be directed towards solving the problem and solving it right so that we can move forward. Council, you can
but everybody leave the seat now, guys. We have come to the close of the show, but let me ask Council, let Council be last. Council, and you served 15 or so more years in that house. Boston bomb. What's that? You see Austin Taylor is Boston bomb. Because he posted, listen, I stand by the rule of law, but they are saying no, he's not saying that he's going to jump for that Kofa.
Look, Stephen, the situation here is difficult. There was a situation with Alex Tyler and former representative of District 11, Gabriel Nyika, was supporting Alex Tyler up to the 11th hour. Gabriel Nyika crossed over to Akawa's grading, and he broke Tyler down. In fact, it was after Gabriel Jenkins crossed over to Akara's grade, then I think to push the number to 47 or I think 48. Tyler decided now that he will go, he resigned. So these things can happen. People can say one thing today, they can say another thing tomorrow, based on the dynamics in the house. I saw it when they were the first removal that I watched was the removal of the late George Dwyer. No, not George Dwyer, but Nondwe Mokomana. Nondwe Mokomana was almost out when they went and begged Charles Taylor and he talked to the legislature. The same guys who were pushing for Mokomana to move, one of them had to make the motion to retain Mokomana. We have seen it. Then came George Dwyer. He was removed. George Koko. The same way when George Koko was there, I think he ended his time or so. Was he removed? I can't refresh. Then came Evan Snow. Evan Snow pushed. Evan Snow went to court. Evan Snow won the case. The guy said, "Okay, come. They will give you due process." Evan Snow said, "No, you can't go there." He resigned. So that did not end. Then Asa Yinambo. Asa Yinambo was also, they attempted removing him, but they could not succeed, so they decided to suspend him. They suspended him on a simple majority. He went to the Supreme Court. He ruled. He won. Supreme Court said to have a person suspended is equivalent to removal, but it's temporary. And the Constitution says removal should be 49. So it was unconstitutional. The man was unconstitutionally removed. He came back. he could not enjoy the benefit and the confidence of his colleagues. He resigned also. Then it flipped over with Eric Stallor, and so what I'm saying to you is this guy can flip at any time. But in this case, other speakers say no. I will not resign. That is a different thing. All the other ones, the guys resign. In this one, he said, I will not resign. You will remove me as per the law. You will get the 49 to remove me. Or you will recognize me as the Supreme Court have said. I will recuse myself. I'll turn the gavel over to the deputy speaker who will proceed further. But for you who say you speaker, you remove me, you take my place, I will not accept it. So, going forward for me, to solve the matter politically first, is for Nati Kufa, Richard Kuhn, to step aside and give way. Usually party got other people, great men. They can put up to be speaker. The minority black CDC got other great. If I CDC already got Thomas Father, they could push him to be speaker. And then they go to election. Two of them step aside. The agreement that Kuhn is always speaker because all concerned is the executive recognized Kuhn as speaker. So we got two speakers. The executive speaker, and for all who respect the rule of law, our own speaker. Our own speaker is Kofa. The executive who believe that end in lawlessness, they support Endo Kuhn. So we are on it. Two always agree. We say, okay, let our two speakers go sit down. We throw the two speakers away. We buy new Chinese speaker and bring it in and move the country forward. But to think that this particular matter, but I told you, no, but I already told you. I told you, Mame, that this thing, that a lot of gameplay here. It took how many months? December, January, February, March, April. 4 months for the Supreme Court who have decided on the bit of information. If you take another 4 months, it means the Chief Justice is out. People in the executive believe that the Chief Justice is a stormy black to this whole thing. When they get her out, they can appoint somebody who will be Chief Justice. The matter will not be here when that person comes. Maybe they'll even have a new argument. We don't know. We'll look at the legal side of it. So in the meantime, they got to be operating. As far as they're concerned, the first ruling gave them the right to operate. They've been operating. The government been operating with the Quorum. The government said the Quorum we've been dealing with, will deal with the Quorum. So they put a hole because the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court rules, they wait for 3 days after, because they give the window for 3 days for a motion for re-argument and to be filed. After that 3 days, they will then send down the mandate for enforcement. That mandate was not sent down for enforcement. That's why I say the executive, the representative Kuhn, majority black, they spoke carelessly. And you know, when people want sugarcoating, they were careless. They spoke carelessly, they spoke loosely. Before going back down to go file motion for re-argument, they should have known that this remedy was there. So now I spoke, even the executive is not taking a position. Should I waited and say, okay, we got the Supreme Court opinion, we're waiting for the judgment. Before the judgment comes, you file motion re-argument, a whole, there'll be no judgment. But they came and made statement, they show their hand where they're going. So they always mean that they are taking a decision.
They've always
so what I'm saying,
they've always shown.
But let's move on while we close the show, guys. We cannot be here till 11. We want to say thanks, Councillor Lefebvre. I know we'll see you again tomorrow. Let me go to my brother Governor Clinton. Governor.
No. Maybe you're not using the more. Maybe you're not using the more data expensive. No, maybe you're not using data expensive.
You work for UN, man. Stop crying, man.
You say what? No. I beg you, don't call out me. No. I beg you, please, Chief, please. Let me have story. Okay. You send me data?
Okay. Mama said you say data. Say you work for us what way? No problem. Peter, let's close the show, Peter. Let's close where you're at.
Look, interesting one-on-one today. Great show. I think the position of many of us remains that the government has a constitutional responsibility to execute faithfully the laws of the Republic of Liberia. and that duty is incumbent on the president as chief executive. Like the councilor said, the government, he said they showed at him, but they've always shown it. They've shown from the very beginning of this entire saga when they started to send, when the people were very vocal, of supporting Richie Kuhn, and when they started to send people, officials of government, high officials of government to sit to where Richie Kuhn and the majority were. But the country has had enough. We've had disrespect to the rule of law from the Supreme Court, whether it was the decision when it comes to tenure. But the opposition community is saying, "I know this is what I really love from Nati Kofa, is the fact that for the first time, with all these different things we've seen happen with different speakers along the line, now we have one person who said, this is not going to happen. You're not going to pressure me into cowardice. You're not going to pressure me to resign. You are going to have to respect the rule of law. There has to be a point in this country where we follow the laws that we have on the books. And this is where we are. And I will hope, and I will hope that Fonati maintains this position. I'm all open, and I'm happy that negotiations are going on, but I am not supportive and will be the first person here to come here and criticize whether it's Fonati Kufa or anyone who engages in any kind of negotiation or settlement that see Fonati exit the speakership without following the processes are laid down in the Constitution, laid down in the rules of the House of Representatives. They must acknowledge the government is adamant they don't want to do that, but they will have to do that because they have a choice whether they want to run a smooth country with all the negative images, and that's why I don't understand President Bwaka and his advisor. Why focus the first year of your administration instead of delivering on the things you promised the Liberian people? You focus on this issue of speakership that is so distracting. It's caused so much negative attention. All the international partners are watching. You're just care as you please. But look, Stanton, in the next few days, negotiate all you want, but any negotiation must see Speaker Kofa. You must recognize Speaker Kofa. Richard Kuhn must take his exit to SAD, but he must take his exit. Speaker Kofa must preside. And then if Kofa decide, if he's going to resign, fine. If they decide that they have 49 people at that time to actually recuse himself and move forward, fine. Resolution of the conflict, the country move forward. The tenets of our democracy are withheld, and we are happy as a country.
Again, thank you very much. Dr. Bobla, let's hear your closing, sir.
As we move forward, I would hope that we can find a speedy resolution. But I also hope that the lawmakers would do everything they can to redeem themselves. And by redemption, Stanton, I mean, one, not only correct the errors of yesterday, but make it harder for us to be in the same place again. So, like I said earlier, step one, let's resolve the issue of the speakership. And then step two, let's put into place measures that make it more difficult for lawmakers to misbehave. This particular group to bend so much unethical, out of order behavior that just makes it embarrasses the nation. Honestly, it embarrasses the nation. So we need to get past this and not be in the same place again. So one, resolution. Two, let's find a way to make this house more integrous. And the people who are there need to understand they have a tremendous responsibility to those they represent. Finally, we the people have to really think about who we elect to represent us. $10 and a t-shirt should not be the standard for electing people anymore. It's clear that if we make poor choices at the poll, we get poor outcomes when people get to Capitol Hill. So I'm hoping for better sooner for the Republic's sake.
Again, Dr. Bobla, thank you very much. Mami, I'll keep it for last. Let me allow Kev to go. I want to say, being it's been an interesting day. We only cover the show within the given time. So we got about maybe 4 more minutes left. Kev, you take 2 minutes, Mama take 2 minutes, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, Stanton, thank you. But you know what? I'm sitting here baffled over we're talking about the rule of law. Some of us has some little sense during the war. The reason we went into war is because of the breakdown of rule of law, and we're talking about negotiating our constitution. We're talking about negotiating our constitution, Stanton. When are we going to respect the rule of law? Maybe because some of us live in this part of the world so long that we understand that you don't negotiate the constitution. You don't negotiate the rule of law. One thing I admire when you come to this country, nobody telling you, if you go into Walmart and everybody, people want the line, you don't cut the line. You cut straight and you stand up, you wait for your time. If you tend to cut the line, the faces of the people, they will look at you and say, who this person? Because the mindset is you have to respect their rules. You have to respect everything. You respect it in America, but in Liberia, you still should negotiate. So you're telling me now that the next government, they don't like the speaker, they move the speaker, they'll negotiate. So that speaker that just went there and just put his hand up, even though not following the procedure, that's the speaker. When are we going to straighten up? Don't we talk about, oh, they're destroying our country, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. No, the law is the law. Let's respect it. Let's respect the law. Fanatical is clear. You get your 49, you move me, and I go. But don't say, okay, imagine, you guys, imagine today Sunday, the churches, the head of all those bishop, archbishop, and this, pressuring Fanatical to resign. So that's telling me the churches are preaching the wrong thing. I thought they're supposed to, I thought maybe I don't know, maybe because I was born Muslim. But how can the religious people saying, oh, Fanatic, accept the wrong thing, but then you will go to Sunday and preach to the people, oh, when you die, you will go to heaven. How can all those people tell you to accept the wrong thing? The Constitution is there. It was not a political matter that went to the Supreme Court. It was a constitutional matter. Article 33 and 49, period. Nothing else. So why can we respect it? I expect the whole country should be behind this. Every logical human being should be behind this and say, let's respect the law. But you say we should negotiate. Negotiate. So that means lastly, that means I can go to Liberia, I can walk into GT Bank, I can hold our bank under hostage, I can take money, which is wrong, which is illegal. I should go to jail, I will can't let negotiate it. So you're telling me it's a gangster paradise now. And if they negotiate, I call all Liberians to do anything you want to do. Motorbike people, get on the streets. We'll negotiate it. No, it should not be no negotiation based on the rule of law. I rest.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kev. Let me just say this to you. Happy Independence Day, Kev. Today, that's your country independent. April 27th, that's Sierra Leone Independent Day. I want to say to you, my brother from Sierra Leone, happy Independent Day. I want to congratulate you and your countrymen. Happy Independent Day, Kev Hassan. All right, let me talk to Mommy. Mommy, go ahead.
Thank you. The implication of the Supreme Court ruling far-reaching, difficult to enforce, even if the people have not filed a re-argument that make it pending now. makes it difficult to enforce. We'll go into the specifics, but we'll remind our people, go back in history, that every time Liberia was faced with a complex situation like this that have far-reaching implications, we negotiated. We found ways outside of what the Constitution requires.
Okay, what the instances, please?
I will give the instances, Council.
Yeah, they make me talk about water thing.
No, not water thing. Just give me a chance. The implications are difficult. Funati Kofa is the speaker as per the Supreme Court ruling prior to the filing of the new bill for retrial. He does not have the majority to function as a speaker. Richard Kun, as per the Supreme Court ruling, did not remove Funati well, therefore he's not the speaker, does not have the authority, constitutional authority, to function as a speaker. This theory that when majority of the people you work with lose confidence in you and you see it as an honorable thing to step aside, is not part of the rule of law. It's a false argument. It's a false argument. When majority of the people you lead reach a decision and say, we don't want you to be our leader, and you step aside because of that, it is not a violation of the law. It is upholding of moral, ethical leadership. It has happened many times. If majority of the people that you lead say we lose confidence in you, you can no longer lead us, it's not compulsory that they remove you. If you as a leader realize that the majority of the people you lead no longer...
A new argument. I think we'll extend the show. A new argument.
You want to explain the show? Mama making you come and explain.
Yeah, you want to extend the show. You need a new argument here. You need a new argument here.
Let me close in peace. We gotta go, guys.
Argument, I decided what to speak on.
No, leaders, that's telling leave Mama off. That was me here.
So I had to go also, brother. So the point I'm making is ethical leadership. When you majority of the people you lead say will no longer trust you, stepping aside is not a violation of the law. It's not. This ruling has far-reaching implication. This ruling has far-reaching implication. As cited the Supreme Court, they've been trying to go back to pre-harmonization salary since 2019. Honor WIA, it did not happen. Honor Kofa, it did not happen. When, after they declared Rachel Kun and say you are illegal, you are ultra vary in December, in January they went to him, they lobbied with him. The budget that they passed for this judiciary that Rachel Kun signed, he increased their salary. He not just increased their salary.
Same argument they put in a re-argument that you're going to listen to.
Yeah,
you're going to listen to. They put a re-argument.
I'm talking about what make it difficult to implement. So
but why they put in a re-argument? So that why? Okay.
I mean, I beg you, can Mama close that go? I beg you, but let's keep it for the moment. You interrupted Mama. Let him close peacefully.
So it makes it difficult. They use Rachel Kun. They could not use Buffer Chimo. They could not use Funati. They used Rachel Kun because they knew he was in crisis. He needed a relationship with the judges. So they said, "Mama, we'll be having the thing on our desk ever since. Increase our salary." He increased their salary, but more than that, the budget he passed allowed them to take their salary retroactively. All the money that they did not pay them beyond doing time, they paid them in one lump sum payment. They used Rachel Kun to do that after they declare him illegal. So it's difficult to implement. When we face with this situation, Council, you were here. The Constitution says every district in Liberia should have equal number of representation after a census. You must conduct census, and based on the census, you must set threshold, and that threshold, each district should have equal number. When we conducted the census in 2008, 2009, we realized that most of Rado would have had up to 40 seats if we are going by the census result. Nima would have had up to 37 if we are going with the census result. Grand Crew and other places would have had a 1 if we are one with the census result. What the country did, leaders came together. Cabinet Janet said earlier on the show, they came together. They said, let's set it aside. Let's set the census aside. Even though that what the Constitution says we should do.
One question. Was that process challenged at the Supreme Court?
I come in, wait for me. So they said, let's set it aside. They set it aside. The Constitution is clear. They say conduct census and use the census report to set threshold.
Was they challenged at the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court handed down a ruling and the country still went against it?
Council?
Cool question.
Answer the question.
We gotta go now, man. The man I speak for 8 minutes.
You people here today, you want where you want to go, today you rushing to.
No, because listen, we'll be talking the generator turn off. Because
the last example.
Was that process challenged at the court? The court handed down ruling and the country still went back?
No.
It was challenged.
And the
you know what the court said? You know what the court said? The court said again to I've got a political matter. That's what the court said.
But that's the court.
But guys, so that course, it's not crossfire. That hold on, guys. I beg you guys. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Mommy, hold on 1 minute. Dada Boble, I know you gotta go, Dada Boble. So you can excuse us, and we'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. I will give the guy another 5 minutes to do that. Crossfire. But let me excuse you, Dr. Boble. Thank you very much for coming today, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, guys, you guys get 5 more minutes. I just talked to Diamond. By 11:10, we should be all a year. I beg you guys. Let Mommy put it now. Mommy, go ahead.
Yeah, Mommy, come on. Yeah.
So when we were suffering with the threshold, the government said no. We can afford almost 40 C Monserrato. We can almost 30 C in Nima. Even though the Constitution says you must use the census result. All the branches came together, gentlemen. We're not evaluating here, expensive for the country. Let's step this census result aside. In violation of the Constitution, we step it aside. But because the judges of the Supreme Court were part of that discussion, when civil society group took complaint to them, they said, my man, the rule is online. Say that political thing we can talk Isa. Another example.
No, but my man, you're not going to talk plenty now. Let
me give my last example because I'm coming to you. My last example. The Supreme Court rule say CDC that headquarters you're in, not for you.
Yeah,
CDC that headquarters you're in is not for you. Therefore, lower court go evict them. You know what Joseph Baga government say? They say no, we can't rush the eviction. CDC is a major political party. If you just rush to evict them, it might create chaos.
Who told me?
Hey man, talk yourself off because you know you were just saying about that.
That CDC thing you were on. I'm just joking.
No, I think that internet, but guys, it was a wonderful show, man. We gotta go. I want to say thanks to Mommy. I want to say thanks. Yeah, tomorrow. Thanks to Dr. Bople. Thanks to Mommy. Counselor, thank you very much, Counselor Go, as always. Governor Clinton. We can announce that this Counselor Go brother will be a Richard Go. He will be here tomorrow as our guest. Also, we have DJ Blue tomorrow as our guest. Let me give all the announcement real quick.
That's the old school way. That's the old school way we just performed.
Guys, good. Thank you very much, my friends. See you tomorrow by God's grace if you can. Thank you. I want to say to everyone, as Damo, come on, let's close the show. It been a good show. I didn't take Mommy off, guys. Why you always put it?
That's the old.
I'm not that bad.
That's the old school way.
But no, it wasn't me. Seriously, I didn't take Mommy off. Seriously, you know I can't do that with Mommy. I said that put wickedness on me. That's not me. But I want to say to all of you, yeah, you say you're hungry, you won't go. They gotta stay talking. So I like Abdullah Kamal. You know how to take people off. He's for LTA. But I want to say to all of you, it's been a great show. Don't forget, tomorrow 2 p.m. Emma Glasgow will be at LACC and Spoon will be there. Emma Glasgow and her lawyer, Cabina and Janet, will be at LACC tomorrow. More negotiation taking place. Don't also forget, we're going to talk about the MCSS Those people that are appealing right now, they are submitting a statement at LDCC. Major investigation is going on. I also want to announce to the nation that tomorrow breaking news will be so interesting. You want to share the show. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. We're going to have Orisha Good, the chairman for ANC, coming in. We're going to have DJ Blue, representative from district number 17. Mr. coming on as to why now he's supporting for Kofa, and those that left for Kofa. We are talking about Emmanuel Dan. Did he ready leave? We will be speaking to Emmanuel Dan. We'll put a word out to hear from him. Mama Brish Mensa, she met the president. What's her two said? Where would this thing be, my friend? I know exactly how this will end. For the sake of country, for the sake of people, for the sake of peace, this thing will end. It will end good, and everybody will walk with pride. Everybody will walk with the respect they deserve. Liberia will be restored. I have come to a place in 10 days, this thing will be but over. Don't listen to what lawmakers will say. They will play politics. They will say, yeah, we want that. No. Wise man changes, and the wise man will change. I want to say to all of you, we appreciate your time on Spoon. Continue to follow us. A lot of moving parts here. You remember Roman quit. He met the president. He switched to majority black. You remember all those people now that are speaking, that are switching. But through it all, Liberia will win. Liberia must win. A lot of stuff on the chopping block. So I say to you, my sister Barbara, Baby, Zena White, thank you for joining us. Sam, Rainy Siafa, as always, Fede Bala, thank you very much. Rose Kwate, Tim Bajwa is here, Sarah Robert, Agata Tikon Tukba. I want to say to all of you, Ruth Goba, Rose Kwate again, Rockland Shilu. Let's bring in our brother Eddie, Sandiako, Salari, Sapet. Let's bring in Nathaniel Hill, Sam Ruben Weir, Ryan Dufour, Rose Quater, Philip Bala is here again. Guys, let me see some new and honorable Alex M. Flomo, Yusuf Sharif, Timba Tali, Cooper passed away. When will Cooper pay our money? I can also announce that District number 10 lawmakers, a lawmaker in the name and person of Yeke Yakwaru Koruba will be leaving the country on Wednesday. Oh, should I announce it? Was that told to announce it? Okay. All right, let me just announce it. Who cares? Our representative Koruba will be leaving the country on Wednesday, going to Ghana to spend 1 month with his family. He's tired, he said. He called me, he's tired. He'll be spending 1 month with his family, so at least the country will be at rest. At least there will be no more calls and there will be no more afternoon Sunday church service. Yeke Koruba will be leaving the country after he fought hard for Edith Gagorowa in Nima. They didn't win. Samakoga won our election. Yeke Koruba is going for the best thing ever to spend time with his family. So to all people that are connected to Yeke, I'm announcing it right now. If you owe your money, go get your money from him. And you know, if you got problem, you know that he's supposed to give you something. I'm announcing it right now. Yeke Koruba is leaving the country on Wednesday. And Wednesday will be when today is the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. So Wednesday will be the first. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh my God, next week Sunday is my birthday, May 4th. So all of you that joining us come on May 4th will be my birthday. Next week Sunday will be the 4th of May, will be my birthday. I'll be turning 50 years old. I'm grateful to God that I will be turning 50 years old. But again, Yeke Koruba is leaving the country. If you're happy for Yeke, you're not happy. If you owe your money, because he borrowed a lot of money, know it very well, they are not giving him any benefit. They are not paying him. So Yeke just going around borrowing people money. He has borrowed a lot of money, and that's what you laughing for. That one, can you give me the man picture? I'm thinking that one real quick. We gotta go. Can you give me the man picture?
You done that slow.
Come on, picture, man. Give me the man picture, man. Yeke Koruba is running away from the country. He's leaving Liberia. He will be in Ghana with his family. You know, he got a home in Ghana, almost $500,000. He bought a home, right? So Yeke Koruba said he spent a lot of money in my country. Nobody paid his money back. You know, he frustrated. He need to go for treatment. You know, he need to go rest. He need to go for treatment. But I said, Yeke, you wonder, you came by, you were so dry, you were so reduced. You look so bad. He said, brother-in-law, I know you really care about me and I'm happy. That's why I got to go for treatment. So again, let me just announce this. I know people don't want me to do it, but I have to do it. All right. Yaka Koluba is leaving Liberia on Wednesday. He's leaving on Wednesday. He will be out of the country on Wednesday. He's going to spend 1 month or so taking treatment, and, eating good food, drinking some protein juice, how to call it protein, Ensure can build your body system up, and you'll be drinking the sugar-free Ensure. Kev, and I see you can drink the sugar-free Ensure, right? Kev?
Say that again. You say what?
You can drink the sugar-free Ensure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kev and Yeka drinking the same thing. Why you get picture? I beg you, can you give me a picture? But again, I also want you to join me. Let's send happy independent greetings to Kev Hassan, Sierra Leone. Today, that's the independent Kev Hassan. Happy Independent Day greeting to you. From your country, Sierra Leone. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kev. Again, this is Yeka Koruba. You will be leaving. He will be leaving the country on Wednesday. Everybody will get the flight information. He's leaving the country on Wednesday. He's traveling. He's leaving the country. He owed a couple of people. That's why I announced it. He owed a couple of people some money. He wanted to do it secretly. But go to Yeket tomorrow. Ask him for your money. Ask him for your money. And regardless why it is, Yeket have to pay your money. He's broke. He doesn't have money. They have not paid him for 6 months. That my brother-in-law. I know what I'm saying. I just sent him $150 2 days ago, and to get gas for the generator, $150. But please, again, now what happened when you can cause people bad way? So the Yankee can start causing. Yankee will be the only man through this thing will remain on suspension for life. For the next 4 years, Yankee will be on suspension. let me leave Yankee alone. But no, on a serious note, Diamond, I really want you to talk to Yeke tomorrow. He'll be leaving the country. He's going for much needed rest Wednesday. We're going on Aska. And that's the plain name, Aska, right?
Yeah, you can leave some money. Money.
So if you go to catch Yeke, your best option is to catch him tomorrow. Because Tuesday, he will leave from Monrovia, and he will go to the airport and sleep in Farmington Hotel. That's what I'm told. So he will sleep at Farmington Hotel Wednesday, 3 a.m. in the morning. He will be at the airport checking in. He's going to go right to Ghana. He will spend over 1 month in Ghana and come back, and this thing will be over. Yeke, that's my brother-in-law, so I have to announce it. Notwithstanding, to all of you, I want to say thank you very much. Till we meet again. May God bless you. May God keep you, and may God save our state. Damo, as always, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome, sir. Free birthday.
Bye-bye. Yes, sir. Thank you.
New, urban, ethical, authentic, sports, entertainment, something for the old, something for the new, something for everybody.